track on that. Let me stop this. And let's go back to this one and put a track on this one. The hook would be right. You can see between Valley Brook and Melbourne. See that clearly? You can easily see that hook. So let's just go right there. Let's move it off to the east and talk about some of the towns that are going to be in the path of this one. So Marie-Dacine Middle School, Pomona at 7:08, Richter at 7:15, Eisenhower Elementary School, Ottawa 7:25. So right now you've got at least 30 minutes in places like Ottawa, because it is 6:55, to find your safe place. But also just kind of get everybody together on the same page, because this kind of came up quickly, the tornado watch. We've been watching this storm since 3:30 when it originally popped, but it was out of our area, continuing to give you idea that, hey, this is coming our way and it could be tornadic. So this storm is going to continue moving this way to about 25. It's a slow mover, so that gives you time outside of this area right here where Pomona, where you need to go ahead and find your safe space. Now, what is a safe space? You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as many as possible to stop the debris that is flying around in the possible tornado. It is a radar indicated tornado. I know there are chasers down there. We'll get more eyes on this as we get deeper into this event and see if it really is reaching the ground, but we have to act like it's reaching the ground as it moves off there. So that's what we're looking at right now. This thing has had a history of producing some very, very large hail too, and it could possibly, you can see right there some of the large hail that it's been producing. Let me go down, and this is one of the aspects of this storm that we have to be concerned with also is the hail. Not only the twisting here, but the hail is going to usually fall on a bigger area, and you can see the hail starting to get up around 1 3/4 inches, which is golf ball size hail, which does cause damage. So anywhere you see that purple is areas that we've had possibly nearly golf ball size hail. So that's not the only thing we have to worry about the tornado. We've got to worry about that also. Let's go down here, and I think it was interesting, Melissa, that they went ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning out in advance of this, even though it is producing, if you look like right here, it is producing a little bit of rotation right there around Highway 268 and Highway 68. So it's interesting that they went ahead and issued that before even seeing if this tornado warning should be continued.
It is interesting as well as we kind of look at the general structure of the storm. This is kind of a basic structure that we see when we think about kind of a tornado formation in storms. But I did want to kind of give an overview of what's going on, because there is one singular storm that is moving into our area now, into portions of Anderson County. But if you live in the metro, nothing is going on right now. But if we look back towards the southwest, towards Waterloo, which is obviously still out of our area, but if I zoom out a little bit farther, those are the two storms that we're primarily watching right now to see if they're going to eventually move into our area. So these two, Waterloo and Emporia and Ottawa, both have that tornado warnings in place. They're moving off towards the east-northeast. 25-30 miles an hour is kind of where they have been moving, basically, in the direction-wise and speed-wise. But right now, know that that tornado warning kind of just north of Melbourne is where we're seeing that kind of signature hook. When we talk about kind of a hook signature on a radar, this is really what I'm thinking of. So the tornado warning continues until 7:15. If you live in Anderson County, there is not a tornado warning right now at this point. There is a severe thunderstorm warning with a considerable tag with a tornado possible as well. So we're looking at the possibility of very large hail, tennis ball sized, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and the possibility of rotation in that storm, which is just off towards the southwest, not quite in Anderson County right now. But it would be tracking, looks like, if there is a tornado that eventually starts to kind of meander and we get a tornado warning, that is going to be south of Pomona. So know that there is one specific cell that we're watching right now, another cell back behind it. But right now, there is no tornado warning for Anderson County, but you need to be prepared for one to be issued eventually later on. So we're going to continue to watch that, know that this is kind of a continuation, and it looks like they just added the tornado warning. So as Mike and I had mentioned, we're likely going to see the continuation of the tornado warning, and it looks like we just did. So Franklin County, you are now included in this. This continues until 7:30. Keep in mind right now it is 6:58. So right now where we're watching for that rotation, it looks like we just maybe lost a radar scan here quickly. Mike, do you have it over there? Can I toss it to you?
Yeah. Franklin and Osage, you can see right there. Is that what you were talking about? This area moving into that area, Franklin and Osage counties, under that potential tornado warning right now. Northwestern Franklin County and eastern Osage County. Now, we're still looking at a radar indicated storm out of here that you could clearly see the hook. You could see they started the next tornado warning right at the front of that hook. It's the storm wrapping around. What you have, inflow notch. That is winds moving into the storm. You got winds on the backside. We call that the rear flank downdraft. That's the cold air coming down that helps lift the warm, moist air and push it into the storm. So anytime you see that notch and that little ball right there or a little hook, that's where we know that the winds are really starting to spin up considerably. So hopefully it is moving past Valley Brook and Melbourne right now, but it's got Pomona right in its sights. So I want to try to, there's a lot on here, and I apologize. You're zoomed in?
Back to me.
Okay, yeah, let's go back to you.
I've got a zoomed in look, and it looks like it's kind of crossing the K68 if we look at that kind of rotation. And kind of right here by Quinmino, this is going to be heading towards the east. So Quinmino needs to be in their tornado safe place right now. It's eventually tracking a little bit more towards the east, going to go down just kind of south of K68 and Pomona. So if you are in Quinmino right now, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place. Eventually Pomona later down the line, but you need to be getting to your tornado safe place right now as well. If we look more towards the east, that's Richter. It's going to be heading towards your area too. Looks like it may track kind of just south of K68, but we could see a little bit of a direction change here. We'll kind of look at radar here in just a second. But right now, if you're in Quinmino, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place. Pomona, you've got a few minutes, but you need to be getting in your tornado safe place as well. And then Richter is going to be later on towards the line, towards the end of this kind of tornado warning. That, keep in mind, continues until 7:30. So Mike is working on a track. I'll send it to him in just a second. But here's a look at the storm right now. As we mentioned, it's got a kind of signature hook with it as we're watching towards the southwestern side. Kind of right in here is where we're looking at for there to be that potential for a tornado. Tornado warning continues until 7:30 p.m. And it looks like Mike's got his track up. Can I send it to you, Mike?
Yeah, 7:01. So if you live near Marie Decine Valley Elementary School, time is of the essence, but so is calmness. So had the plan in place because we've been talking about this for a while now. Go ahead, execute that plan. Get to that lowest floor. Get to that most inner part and put as many walls between you. All right, this thing is sitting right on top of Quinamo. I'm not sure I've ever heard that before, having lived here so many times. And Richter, so 7:17. So you've got some time. So it is going to go over a little bit of open area as it sits and just runs off to the east ever so slowly, about 25 miles per hour. Now, Ottawa, one of our bigger cities, you're getting closer to the metro. Ottawa, about 7:27. So that's about 25 minutes from now. So that gives you time to call everybody. Maybe you have kids that are at practice. Maybe your significant other is at the gym or hasn't come home yet for work, and they may not know what's going on. This will give you some time to get a hold of them, text them, call them, say, hey, we've got a tornado warned supercell coming at us, and we need you to come home right now. If you can get home in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you should be okay. But if you're in places like Richter, you still have a few minutes. But other areas, you need to be going down right now to that area. I wanted to show you, we kind of been looking a lot at debris tracker, and I don't see anything quite significant yet, but we'll keep an eye on that right now. We're just going to continue to watch that area right. Let's go all the way down street level, and you can see it almost right to the west there on Highway 68. I mean, you can clearly see this is where the rotation is going to be as it goes right through this town. And so hopefully everybody is down there. And if you live anywhere near 268, also, go ahead and go downstairs now and get into that room. Because remember, tornadoes don't necessarily travel in a straight path. They can spin like a top. Melissa?
kind of back and showing you once again the kind of whole supercell as itself. There is the western side of Anderson County that is included in the tornado warning. If you are east in Ottawa and then east of Ottawa right now in the western half of Anderson County, you are in a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. That will continue as basically we go into about 7:45. This is going to be for 2-inch hail as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. So I just want to kind of get that out too. But this storm as its whole is going to continue to move towards the east. We're looking back towards our southwestern areas to look at that kind of rotation that we're watching. And overall, as Mike had mentioned, just kind of case 68 is where we're looking at. Quinamino, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. We got a new scan in, shows a little bit better kind of coupleted rotation in Quinamino. So Quinamino likely right over you. You need to be in your tornado safe place. And it looks like it's moved a little bit more towards the northeast. So kind of at that interchange of K68 is where it's starting to kind of head to. So if you are in Panoma, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place now. You maybe have a few minutes to get into that spot. And then it's likely going to go generally, as we think it's to the east-northeast, kind of along that 68, possibly towards the Richter area. So you need to be getting in your tornado safe place shortly. I am going to put a storm track on this to show you where this is kind of headed. If we do it based on the rotation moving towards the east, and it looks like, if I'm going to contain it in the warning, Panoma around 7:13. It's 7:04 right now. So you've got a few minutes. You need to get what you need to get to your tornado safe place zone. And then around 7:20, we're going to be moving towards Richter, and then 7:24 Davies School. So right now, a quick check of the time. It's 7:05 right now. So you've got about 10 more minutes until it's moving into Panoma, so you need to be getting your tornado safe place now, and then eventually later on towards Davies School and Richter around 7:20 to 7:24 is when we're looking at that arrival time. So just a reminder, we do now have a tornado watch that continues until 11 p.m. This does include the Kansas City metro area. The metro does not have any warnings at this time. We are looking at one singular cell, one singular supercell that is in our area right now. And if I clear this off, you can see where the metro is in relation to where this supercell is. So the metro's up here towards the northeast. It's along I-35. You can see the general structure of a supercell developing as it moves into kind of Anderson County right now. Mike?
Well, just looked at what the Weather Service was talking about, and just looking at the variables that we've been talking about all day. It is now 7:06. The sun is going to set here in about 40 minutes. Remember that breeze that kicks up once the sun sets? We call that the low-level jet. That is going to come in and continue to give us the rotation, if not increase the rotation. And this storm has nothing in its way to keep it from not continuing to do what it's doing. I mean, there's nothing that's going to stop it, possibly other than its own updraft being choked by its downdraft. So because of that, I wanted to show you where the downdrafts are. That's where the hail is. Hail's coming down here, but notice the hail is away from the updraft, which is the tornado. So this thing is leaning a little bit, and it's leaning to the east, and it's coming up, the air is coming up and going out the top of the storm. Sometimes the air will drop down with the hail, but it's outside of the updraft. So the updraft is not getting choked by the downdraft of the hail that is coming out of this system. So that's why we're concerned. This thing may be around for a long time, because if you look at, let me just zoom on out. There is just nothing out there in front of it. It is going to be taking and gobbling up all the energy as it comes up towards us. There's a chance, there's no real chance that this is going to move in. We're thinking that probably this tornado warning is going to fall apart before it has a chance to get to Lawrence. This is going to be likely our main player that's going to come in to southern Johnson, southern Douglas County, even northern Miami County as it comes right up 35. So if we saw the hail getting closer to that hook, then we might say, okay, this thing's maybe getting choked just a little bit, but we're not seeing that. We're actually seeing the hook very visible right there. And that's why I wanted to tell you, Melissa, that this thing looks like it's going to be around for a while, and we're going to be here tracking it and trying to keep everybody safe and ahead of the game for a long time.
Thanks, Mike. You know, with storms that are more individual, they have nothing else to compete for the ingredients for. We're looking at, all the ingredients being there. It's going to continue to move towards the east. And as we kind of look out of this camera too, I'm looking out of on the left side of your screen. I would assume this is our tower cam. Is that correct? Yes, this is our tower cam. So we're looking out of our tower cam to the south-southwest. Likely that is the storm we're looking at. Reminder right now, if you are joining us at 7:08 p.m. on your Monday evening, there is a tornado warning that is in effect until 7:30 for Franklin County. So as you can see, it's been a continuation from Osage County into Franklin County until 7:30. It is 7:08 right now. The hook of this storm is just crossing over into western Anderson County. When we think about a supercell, this is one of the classic signatures that we see. As it hooks like this, we've got a little bit of rotation. This is where we're looking at for that tornado potential right in this area at this time. So as we kind of look in to see the rotation, and it looks like right now, I'm going to zoom way in, looks like it's about to be kind of on K68 right in this general route. Have already crossed into kind of western Anderson County. Panoma, it's going to be heading to your area here in just a few minutes. You need to be getting in your tornado safe place zone right now. Later on into the warning, Richter is where it's going to be heading next. So it looks like it's generally moving along that kind of 68 kind of corridor right now. Panoma, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place, and then eventually later on into Richter. So K68 is where it looks like it's tracking just west now of the kind of Anderson Western County border. So it is in Anderson County. It's going to Panoma, and then eventually it's going to be heading towards Richter. So Panoma, need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. Even as we put a track on this, still moving slow around 25 miles per hour. If we pull it towards the east, getting into that kind of western side of the county. Looks like we just got an update too, but let me do a track again because it just updated the radar scan. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And then we'll put a track on this as well. Moving towards the east.
Yeah, it's on Pomona right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see what you're tracking right there.
Yeah.
Hopefully the people in Panoma and Richter are in their safe places right now as it's coming right along that highway, as you mentioned, right along Highway 68. So that is what we're seeing. So Quinamo, you're now kind of on the back side of it. I would still stay down there for another 5 or 10 minutes or so, but it really looks like this thing is on Highway 68 just to the west of Pomona, heading on its way towards Richter. And here in Franklin County, this is, again, moving off to the east at about 25 miles per hour. So we're giving you some time, tracking it to make sure you can get into your safe place, make sure you can get a hold of your family, your friends, make sure they know what they're supposed to be doing as this very healthy looking storm continues to race off to the east at 25 miles per hour. So I'll put a track on it real quick, Melissa, or do you have one?
No, you
Okay.
can put a fresh one on there, yep.
All right, I'm going to put a fresh one because I just want to keep the people in Ottawa up to date because, you know, the highway goes right into Ottawa, and if this thing sits there right on the highway, it's going to head right that way. So let's go out about 30 minutes. This is a 30-minute track. So Pomona, Richter, Davie School at 7:21, Pomona at 7:12. I mean, that's 10 seconds from now. So it is on top of you. Richter at about 7:18, the PM Davie School, 7:21, Eisenhower Elementary School getting closer to Ottawa. There you go at about 7:28, 7:29. So in that respect, it hasn't really changed much. The last time we did a track, it was getting into Ottawa at about, let's say 7:27. Let me update this as we've got a new scan. Get a little bit farther, and there you go. Yeah, Ottawa at about 7:28. So we're still looking at it going right across the highway here, moving from Quinamo to Pomona to eventually Richter, and then also over towards Ottawa. Now, again, we keep looking around and seeing if we have any confirmation of this, but it still continues to be a radar indicated. So what we're going to try to do when I toss it back to Melissa is I'm going to try to find where any of those storm tracers are, Melissa, and I'm going to see if they've got eyes on this and if anything has actually reached down to the ground yet.
Thanks, Mike. I wanted to kind of show a wider view too. We've got that one supercell right now that's in our area, but there is another one behind it. So that also has a tornado warning with it. Looks like it's tracking towards the east, northeast as well. So we're going to watch this one behind the current kind of tornado warning that we have got right now. because we are watching that potential to eventually move into our area, essentially near the same zone. But the one tornado warning that we've got in our area right now, as we zoom in, you can see the supercell structure happening. There also, if you live in Ottawa, you are not included in the tornado warning yet. However, you do have the possibility for large golf ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So there still is a severe thunderstorm warning kind of on top of this, and then that tornado warning is embedded in the middle of it. But as we kind of take a closer look, that is going to be for Franklin County, and I think I just came to the realization I was saying the wrong county, so I apologize for that if that was the case. Franklin County is included in this. It is the western side of Franklin County, and it looks like we just got a new update as well with the severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll get to that here in just a second. I want to go back and track the tornado warning. And really, just towards the east of Sonoma, and it looks like we just have new information here, Mike, for this tornado warning. Are you seeing anything?
Out of Topeka, I see nothing because that is there. It said tornado warning continues, hail up to 2 inches.
It's confirmed now.
Is it confirmed?
Yes.
Okay.
The new updated confirmed tornado was located over Sonoma, moving east at 25 miles per hour. So damaging tornado and 2-inch hail is what this is for. So if you are east of Sonoma right now, if you are in Richter, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now, as this is a confirmed tornado that is on the ground. It looks like to be likely just east of Sonoma right now. It's going to be tracking pretty much along 68. So if you live between Sonoma and Richter, you need to be you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. So we've got confirmation. This is now a confirmed tornado, and it's going to be moving toward Richter here shortly. I'm going to put a fresh track on this. I assume it's going to be just a few minutes, because they are, close together. So let's put a quick track on here. But right now, if you live in between Sonoma and Richter, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. That is the most interior part of your home, away from windows. And as this is a confirmed tornado, you need to be taking all your safety precautions and getting to the lowest floor. So likely just east of Sonoma right now, heading towards Davie School around 7:25. Right now it's 7:15. Richter, that's around 7:22. Going to be moving into your area. So it looks like we just got a new radar scan. So still kind of in between the two.
Mm-hmm. Hail's huge. The radar showing hail up to 2.2 inches. Just to the west, 2.4 inches. So we're getting some large hail. Being at least the radar looking into this just to the west of Pomona, 2.5 inches. So we're getting up to some pretty large size hail right there. So that's why not only do we need to be worried about where the tornado is going, the hail damage is going to be extensive out of this also as it rolls through. So let me try to zoom on out here a little bit and give you an idea where this hail core is going as it straddles just to the northeast of the actual tornado. So this is going on. Let me try that again. This is going off to the east at about 25 miles per hour, the largest hail over Pomona right now. So some of this large hail is going to head to Richter here in about 5 minutes, the Davie School at about 7:25. So you can see how close the hail core is to the tornado. It's almost the same areas at almost the same time. So, anytime you see that green sky or it starts to get really quiet, that's because the air's going up instead of going sideways where we can feel it. It's going up into the storm. That's the updraft going into the storm. So if you're starting to hear that quietness around your neighborhood in Pomona, or if you live along Highway 68, that means it's getting really close to you and you need to seek shelter immediately. So that's a look at the hail. We're going to send it back to Melissa here in a second. She's going to take a look at exactly where the rotation is. Melissa?
Mike, it looks to be just kind of north of 68, and I believe this is Idaho Road. So it's going to be crossing kind of that area here within a matter of minutes. Keep in mind, this is a confirmed tornado, so you need to be getting in your tornado safe place as quick as you can. If you live in Richter, you need to be getting there right now. Now is the time to go to your tornado safe place. Take anything you need to bring with you, your loved ones, your pets, and get into your tornado safe place. So it's going to be moving towards the east around 25 miles per hour. So it is moving fairly slowly, and it just looks to be maybe a little bit north now. So going to eventually cross what I believe is Idaho Road, heading up towards the east very slowly. So Richter, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. It's going to continue to move towards the east. So once again, if you are in Sonoma, you are okay right now. The rotation has passed near you. Now, if you are in Richter, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place now. It's likely going to cross what I believe is Idaho Road and K68. So you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. If we take a look at the actual structure of this storm, this is, a textbook supercell when we think about the rotation and how we've got this hook. So right here is where we're looking at right now where that rotation is. So still the tornado warning continues until 7:30. It is 7:18 right now. I wanted to kind of give a wide look once again to show you what's going on in terms of the actual structure of the storm. But right now looks like we're just looking mainly north, slightly north of Richter. It's going to cross what I believe is Idaho Road and then eventually go over Idaho Road and then track north of 68. So we're looking right here, likely going to be crossing Idaho Road here in maybe about a matter of a minute or so. If you live on Idaho Road near Richter, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. It's going to continue to move off towards the east. But no, once again, this is a confirmed tornado that we have, and we will be able to track it here as we go through the next couple of minutes. And let's see if I could put a fresh track on there. Mike, do you have a track on there or no?
Actually, I'm sorry. I'm looking at a Lawrence
no, that's okay.
tower cam right now to see what's going on out there. And that you can see, this is on the Oriad Hotel. It's Jayhawk Boulevard. It's Watson. And then the library, Watson Library. And we're looking to the south-southeast. You're seeing a lot of lightning. You're on the north side of the storm, so we're kind of got a wall of water in between us and that storm. So you're not seeing much of a definition right now. You're not there's no, we're not going to be able to see the hook. We're not going to be able to see the wall cloud, the tail cloud, the inflow notch, all that, because we're just on the wrong side of the storm. And I know they're searching hard for it, maybe a little bit of an inflow notch there, but we're just on the wrong side of it right now. So the thing we're looking at right now is the fact that this thing is just to the south of Lawrence. It looks like it's going to stay to the south of Lawrence. And I noticed how close the hail core was getting to the actual tornado. So I haven't heard if it's rain wrapped, but that could be a possibility if it might get rain wrapped. Hopefully it doesn't, so we can keep eyes on it as it continues to move off to the east. We definitely do want to be able to keep eyes on this and keep watching it as it's moving that way. Let me show you something else here. Let me get out of this and let's get to what's going on here. So what I'm going to take a look at is just the reflectivity once again and see how close the hail core is to the actual tornado. So we're trying to look from Lawrence through all of this muck and we just can't see it. We'd like to have a tower cam looking up this way, but we just don't right now. But anybody on 35, hopefully there's no one on 35, especially north of Ottawa and south of Ottawa through Franklin County. Hopefully no one's out there. But that's probably where the storm chasers are. They're probably sitting right here looking straight into that and watching this thing develop. So look at how close the hail core is to that tornado, Melissa. That is amazing.
Yeah, we just got an extension too. Of course, Mike had showed you kind of what we saw on radar. I'm going to take the lightning off because it's kind of hard to see with all of the lightning. Now that we have an extension of the tornado warning, keep in mind when we see kind of these black boxes, this means that has been a confirmed tornado. That confirmed tornado was back towards Sonoma is where they saw it. And so we're continuing that confirmed as we go into the kind of latest warnings that were just issued. So if you are in Sonoma, you are still in the tornado warning. However, the threat has passed you at this point. But know that if you live in Franklin County on the the eastern side, so if you are in Ottawa, we do have that tornado warning. This now includes you until 8 p.m. So once again, we're looking at that general signature of a hook, which we typically see when we learn about this in school. It's kind of textbook supercell is what we're seeing right now. I'm going to take the lightning off here quickly so we can have kind of a better look at this specific storm because it's hard to see with the lightning. So as you can see, Typical supercell. It's going to be crossing into the new warning here shortly. Ottawa needs to be ready to get in their tornado safe place zone here in a few minutes. So once again, looks like the rotation is just towards the northeast of Richter and passing what I believe is Idaho Road. So eventually this is going to be headed towards Ottawa here pretty shortly. I am going to put a track on this. I do want to see, before I do that, if it has picked up speed or it is still the same speed. Let's see. East 25 miles per hour. No, also Mike had mentioned that in the tornado warning, there is also the possibility of 2 inches in diameter of hail. But know that the tornado has been spotted and weather spotters did confirm the tornado. So we're looking at kind of just east Richter right now. It's going to be crossing over, eventually moving into Ottawa right now at this time. Looks like it's a little bit further east. We are going to, Mike, eventually get to the point where we'll have to switch radars here shortly. So just a heads up there.
Looking at the correlation coefficient, and it's about 0.77. It was up around 0.88 before showing that there was a better correlation right there. And there may be something in the air that is not spherical or not round. And it's right where Melissa was showing you. We'd like to see a blue there, but the green indicates that there possibly could be something. This is going over an open area. I mean, it may be pulling up dust. It may be pulling up maybe some trees. I'm not sure if there's even some farmhouses. It may be missing those. But it doesn't mean that there's not something on the ground, because we said there is something on the ground. We're just not seeing a lot of debris in the air because it's not going through a very populated area or an area with a lot of buildings or possibly a lot of trees that it's uprooting. But we're definitely seeing there's something every once in a while. Now it's up to 0.91. So there's definitely something in the air there as it passes by Richter and heading over towards Ottawa Junction. So the way this thing's going, if you follow it, it may head more towards Ottawa Junction and Highway 59 than Ottawa itself. So I know Melissa's taking a look at it. She's got a track on it. So let's see exactly where it's going right now, Melissa.
So I think we're generally going to see it maybe on the northern side of Ottawa, but still Ottawa needs to be prepared to get in their tornado safe place. Right now it is 7:25. Around 7:26, Davie School, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place now. You've got maybe just a minute or so to get into your tornado safe place. Once again, know that we have had confirmation of this tornado, so you need to be taking this seriously, getting in your tornado safe place right now if you live near the Davie School area. Eventually, right now, remember, it's 7:25, 7:34, moving towards the Sand Creek School area. Eventually, later down the line, in about 10 minutes, moving more likely probably just to the north of our kind of Ottawa kind of area. So eventually, as it moves more towards the northeast, Greendale School eventually will be around 7:38 p.m., so in about 10 minutes. So be getting in your tornado safe place now. And as Mike and I had mentioned, it is a confirmed tornado. It was confirmed just east of Panoma, and then eventually moving kind of along the kind of K68 corridor, and is going to be kind of moving up here as we look just to the east northeast. So heading maybe just north of Ottawa, eventually crossing over what I believe is going to be, if I can read the specific number, 55, I want to believe. So it's going to be heading there next. Know that the tornado warning itself is a confirmed tornado warning. This is until 8 p.m. So right now it is 7:26. But however, our western sides of our Franklin County still are included in the tornado warning. Panoma, you are okay right now. You've got the all clear there. But if you are moving into places, or I should say, if you're living into places like Ottawa, the northern side of Ottawa, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. The structure of this storm showing that where that rotation would just kind of be in this specific area overall. Not only are we watching the potential, well, we know there's the tornado that is with it. It has been confirmed. Also watching the potential for large hail. Mike?
Yeah, I've got us dialed down on Pomona and Richter and Highway 68, and you can see just what the radar is looking at when it looks at the size of what is inside this storm. Its algorithms are saying the hail is at least 1 3/4 inches, which is golf ball size hail, which is going to cause some damage to the folks in Richter as it falls probably falling right now as this is sitting right on top of it. And one of the things we look at to see if a storm is strengthening or weakening is the hail core itself. And you can see we've had a little bit of a drop, and now the hail core is stronger once again, which means the updraft is more likely stronger, and that's why we've got this rotation and why we've got this storm bearing down on Ottawa that is potentially dangerous from a tornado that is rolling through this area. So not only do we have to worry about the tornado, but if you have anything outside and you have time, make sure you bring it in, cover it, do whatever you can, because the hail swath will be much bigger. The damage path will be than the actual tornado path, which will be a little bit smaller. But we want to take both of them seriously, because if you're outside when golf ball size hail, it can hurt. But if this thing pulses up, it has the potential to get up to 2 to 2.5 inch size hail. That could really hurt, especially if it hits you in the head or something like that. So we want to try to get everything inside and then stay inside. And just like with a tornado, hail, you don't want to be near the window, because if it's coming in sideways, it'll crash that window and come right through, and then you'll have glass everywhere, and you don't want that. So we've got at least 2 dangers that we're looking at out of this supercell thunderstorm, Melissa.
Thanks, Mike. I kind of want to go kind of place by place once again as we really zoom in. Keep in mind we are in Franklin County. That is where the tornado warning is. That continues until 8 p.m. So we're looking at that rotation just likely north of 68. It's going to be heading towards the east, kind of northeast here, moving towards Ottawa and then Ottawa Junction. Kind of likely going to kind of go right into that corridor and then kind of crossing as we go into that street and eventually K68. So we are looking at kind of the eastern side of the town, Richter right now, and then eventually leading here towards Ottawa Junction and Ottawa. So you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. But as I mentioned, the rotation right in this kind of spot that we're looking at right here. So likely just north of 68, heading towards places like Ottawa Junction. I'm going to zoom out once again and kind of show you where this is going to generally be kind of moving to. It's been moving around 25, 30 miles an hour overall, fluctuating between the two. And so I want to pretty much put this track to where we can get it. Actually, we just got a new scan, so let me try this again. Let's zoom out a little bit more. And here we go. Oops. Sorry, everybody. Let me try this again. So Ottawa Junction, going to be heading into your area here in a few minutes. It's 7:34, or I should say 7:30, almost 7:31. So if you are in the Ottawa Unified School District office, anywhere near that, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. Ottawa around 7:36, so you've got about 6 more minutes. You need to be getting in that tornado safe place at this time as well. Later on, we're looking at Lincoln Elementary School. That's closer to around 7:38. It looks like that could be going just south of you, so we're going to continue to refine that. But Lincoln Elementary School, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place here shortly. We're going to continue to kind of keep you updated. I did want to do a quick kind of look at our actual radar, wider look, because we were watching a storm that had a tornado warning back towards our western kind of OCH County. Once again, that has been lifted, so that is good news, but we are watching that potential for another tornado warning potentially going to be issued into our area down the line. But no, this kind of red box with a black outline is our indication of that confirmed tornado warning that is in place. So I wanted to kind of give a wider look to show you, and it looks like it's just going to go pretty much south of the 435 loop, but it's packing a lot of lightning. It's got that general supercell form with a hook here on the backside of it. This is where we're looking generally in this location where there is that tornado, as it has been confirmed. Now, I want to say that we've been checking the National Weather Service chat to see if we've got any more information on if it's been confirmed again. It's not looking like that is the case. So I just wanted to check that before we put another track on it. And I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to put a fresh track on it. And then when I come back, I'll have that track. I'm going to send it over to Mike.
Yeah, we have our closest KDOT camera to this storm. I-35 in Ottawa, rest stop. You probably know where that is if you travel this a lot. And we're just trying to, get an idea of what we're seeing with this storm and also the structure of this storm. And if we can actually see where the rotation is. We're having a hard time right now because it's just still a little bit too far away, pointed just a little bit in the wrong direction. But this is an area where we're going to try to get KDOT to turn the camera and face the supercell a little bit better so we can see what's going on. But right now it looks like this is actually just froze as the car's not moving. So this is what we were seeing just a few minutes ago. We'll try to refresh this and get it back up there. Oh, that's a much better looking vantage point. We're looking right in here. Did you see that, Melissa? Look at that.
I do see that.
So we're definitely looking at the vantage point up to the north and looking into it. Definitely a lowering down here. Looks like that might be some rain wrapping around it. You could see back towards there, the inflow coming in, the tail cloud. I mean, yeah, that is starting to look textbook as we look from this vantage point, Melissa.
I zoomed in once again on our Doppler winds. Mike, I want to let you know that I just switched it over to our radar. I'm getting a little bit better vantage point to see it, so you can go ahead and do that too. But it looks like it's tracking just along 68. It's moving off towards the northeast Ottawa. It's going to be headed in your direction here in just a few minutes. Keep in mind it's 7:34, 7:39. Into the Ottawa area, Ottawa Unified School District office, if you live near that neighborhood, 7:38. So you've got a few minutes, but you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. And then eventually later on, as we were seeing this more on an east-northeasterly track, 7:51 towards Emney Green School. So right now, though, Ottawa, as well as Ottawa Unified School District office, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. Once again, this is in the lowest level part of your home, away from windows. And if you do not have a basement, make sure you're getting in something like a bathroom, a small interior room away from our windows. If there's any apartments out there, maybe this is the time to make friends with your neighbors, get onto the lowest point of your floor, as well as be in the most interior part of your home. So right basically along 68 is where we're seeing this rotation right now. Back here, as we take a look where I've got more of that track, so it's going to be moving. Ottawa Unified School District, that's where we're looking at here in just a few minutes, 2-3 minutes, and you need to be getting in your tornado safe place. Mike?
All right, just got an update from Topeka. Weather spotters confirmed what I was afraid happened, a rain-wrapped tornado east of Pomona. So it is once again on the ground, chewing up debris and flinging it into the air. It's a damaging tornado and tennis ball size hail possible. So this is what we're looking at coming right into Ottawa right now. So we have eyes on it. We know it's on the ground. We know it's coming into Ottawa right now. Calmly, but quickly, seek shelter in that area right now, as again, it's rain wrapped. So we're not going to be able to see it. You don't want to run outside and try to take a picture of it. You don't want to run outside, see if it's coming close to your house or if it's not. Just seek a safe spot right now, anywhere in Ottawa Junction, Ottawa, all the way down Highway 59 to 35 in this Eisenhower Avenue, East 15th Street. There's North Davis Avenue. It's coming right across 68, once again, heading towards this area. So new information saying, yes, it's on the ground. Yes, it's rain wrapped. You're not going to be able to see it. You're not probably going to be able to hear it. It's going to sneak up on you in that rain sheet. So please seek shelter now. Melissa?
Thanks, Mike. I kind of want to go back again. As Mike had just reiterated, this has been a confirmed tornado. You need to be getting in your tornado safe place. If you live in Ottawa right now, you need to be in your tornado safe place, especially if you live on South Eisenhower Avenue and West 151st Street. Likely going to go right through this kind of corridor, this kind of cross section, and then lift up maybe just towards the kind of southern side of Ottawa. So we're looking at the rotation right here. Now keep in mind, we'll continue to get kind of latest scans in and may bump a little bit further towards the east. So if we do that, but right now, South Eisenhower Avenue and West 151st Street, if you live there and if you live in Franklin County, if this is you in Franklin County, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place zone. It's kind of been tracking along 68. So keep that in mind. Maybe just on the southern edge, West 151st Street. I actually think this says 15th. It does. West 15th Street. So West 15th Street, as well as Eisenhower Avenue. So we're looking right here in this corridor along kind of 68. You need to be getting in your tornado safe place. This will eventually track towards Ottawa, and then Ottawa Junction maybe just on the northern side of this specific rotation that we're watching. So keep in mind, this is moving towards the east, 25 miles per hour. We're going to get a latest scan here in soon, but right now, kind of K68, Eisenhower Avenue, and West 15th Street. In these spots, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place zone, as well as if you live in Ottawa, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place zone right now. Once again, keep in mind, this is a confirmed tornado. The tornado warning continues until 8 p.m. Here's a look at, once again, that tornado. Looks like we just got an update in. Let's see. We're continuing the tornado warning. Mike, they upped the size of the hail, just so you know. Emergency management confirmed tornado on the ground in Ottawa. All right, so Ottawa, now you need to be getting in your tornado safe place. Keep in mind, we're going to see this update here shortly, so maybe a little bit behind. Ottawa, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. It would likely be around 68, and then this kind of cross section. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer to see the specific name of this cross section. Yes, go ahead, Mike.
15th and Eisenhower.
15th and Eisenhower. So we're looking there.
Yep.
Southern side of Ottawa, and it looks like we're continuing to keep getting updates here. But no, Ottawa, we have seen another confirmed kind of tornado from this specific tornado warning. So I am going to put a track on this once again. Later on, it's going to be heading maybe North Davis Avenue. Let me make sure it's still moving around 25 miles an hour. Yes, east around 25 miles an hour. Let me put a fresh track on here.
It's just a little bit ahead of that.
Yes, it's just a little bit ahead of it. I think when we get the radar scan in, it'll jump. Okay, it is 7:39. 7:39. We've got Eisenhower Elementary School. You need to be in your tornado safe place right now. And then later on down the line, Garfield Elementary School around 7:41. So you've got about 2 minutes. You need to be getting in your tornado safe place zone. And it looks like right now, Mike, it just jumped.
It did. It just jumped. Hey, a spotter confirmed he was seeing debris, but is about 15 miles south, so cannot fully see the actual tornado.
Okay.
That's when it went through, passed through Pomona. Richter was moving into Richter, and of course now it's moving into Ottawa. And we do have debris in the area. It is chewing things up. You have to be careful with that debris, especially if it's going through Ottawa right now, which Melissa has on hers. So let's go ahead and go back to her, Max, if we can. And so it is chewing things up, and there is going to be flying debris in the air that could be racing around 100 to 113, 115 miles per hour. You do not want to get in the way of that.
Yeah, right now, if you live on East 15th Street, you need to be in your tornado safe place zone. The kind of crosshairs from 35 and East 15th, it's going to be headed towards you soon. Keep in mind, we get a radar scan every 5 minutes or so. So this is maybe a little bit behind. So later on, when we think about where this is going next, if you live along East 15th Street and the 35 interchange, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. Eventually, as this turns into Marshall Road, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place as well. So keep in mind, we get a radar scan every couple minutes. So likely going to be moving probably now closer to 35 and then East 15th Street is where we're probably looking at this rotation right now and that confirmed tornado. As Mike had mentioned, it's likely rain wrapped. Looks like it's just south overall of kind of where that kind of Ottawa and that 68 is right now. But right now, if you live along I-35 and the East 15th Street corridor, that cross section, you need to be in your tornado safe place zone right now. This is eventually going to cross over. If I zoom in maybe a little bit more, I could get a little bit of a better cross street. So looks like East 15th Street will turn into Marshall Road as it crosses over 35. So you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. As I mentioned, this has been a confirmed tornado in Ottawa. This is maybe a few minutes behind at this point. So as we look ahead, Marshall Road and 35, that kind of cross section, if you live over there, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place zone. Eventually, because I'm going to keep on going down the line as this is moving around 25, 30 miles an hour. I want to make sure we're getting ahead of this as we only get a few, updates here. Marshall Road, if you continue to live on the Marshall Road area, just south of 68. We're looking at this eventually heading towards your neck of the woods as well. So reminder that we've got a confirmed tornado that is in Ottawa. The realm of which we're seeing that rotation right now is close to East 15th Street and 35, but likely going to see an update here in just a few minutes to see more of where that's currently at. But I assume this is going to be closer to Marshall Road, and 35 is where we're seeing it right now. So East 15th Street turns into Marshall Road. If you are in between 35, 68 and Marshall Road, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. Once again, this is Franklin County. If you are in that realm, 35, East 15th Street turning into Marshall Road, and south of 68, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now at this instant. So we're seeing that rotation. It's likely going to update here shortly.
There's power outages in North Ottawa.
Okay.
We've got a media member that has family there is relaying the info, so we're getting firsthand information from people in Ottawa that there's power outages, there's power flashes, 1,400 without power right now, so this thing is definitely chewing through Ottawa as we speak. It's about to possibly come out the east side. So let's send it back to Melissa. She's got it dialed down right where it is.
Yeah, more likely, as we mentioned, we only get a couple minutes. Every couple minutes we get a latest scan. This is likely now east of 35, and it's still kind of maybe along Marshall Road, south of 68. If you live in Emez, this is likely down, going to be just north of you, but you need to be ready to get in your tornado safe place. Likely going to be tracking just south of 68, as well as this kind of cross street that we're seeing here. So right now, this corridor is still 35, 15th Street that turns into Marshall Road, and then south of 68, in between this kind of box, this is where we're looking at where that storm likely is and that rotation likely is right now. If we take a look at the actual storm itself, you can see at the classic hook signature, we're looking right kind of in here, as I mentioned, of where we're looking at that rotation. This is a classic supercell that we typically see. We had mentioned today is kind of a low probability, high impact event, and this is what we are seeing kind of play out here as we continue to go through the rest of this evening. So that rotation likely have crossed over 35 right now and is in between Marshall Road and 68. So later on down the line, I'm going to put a track in here, and keep in mind, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place if you're in any of these areas. And I'm going to push it a little bit further east because we know it's probably a little bit further towards the east.
Yeah, we're seeing debris trackers showing something right on 35 just north of East 15th.
Okay.
Right there, that looks like it's getting close to the classic debris ball signature we want. We want to see a blue in there, but this is getting close. This is getting up to the threshold that we look at for that. Plus, we've got emergency management out there that continues to say that, yeah, there is a tornado. Look at that. It's almost up to 1. So, yeah, we're pretty confident that that is the debris ball that's about to move across Interstate 35 in the eastern part of Ottawa, if it hasn't already. And you can see with the latest scan, it's probably right here, down here at the bottom. It doesn't look nearly as impressive as it did before, but we'll keep an eye on it. It doesn't mean that the tornado's weakening. It just means that maybe we're not seeing as much in the air on that radar sweep as we saw on the other one as it traveled through and tore up parts of Ottawa. Melissa?
Thanks, Mike. Here's a closer look. I'm kind of still zoomed in. We're seeing that rotation, as I'd mentioned, likely east of 35 and in between Marshall Road and 68. So right here is where we're looking at. This is where that rotation is. You need to be in your tornado safe place right now at this instant. As we look later on down the line, I want to kind of look. Looks like this is going to go just north of Emez and then kind of track just in between Marshall Road and 68. So still going, I presume, around 25 miles per hour. Yes. Okay. Around 25 miles per hour. We put a track on this. Moving east, may just be kind of south of 68. And let me zoom out a little bit more to get closer to this crossroad because it's not picking up.
I'm seeing Nevada Terrace. Are you seeing that? Or Neosho Road? Some of the those two are crossing each other right where the debris ball could be heading towards. So there's that area, and that is east of 35, and we're seeing a little bit of an uptick in that once again as the correlation coefficient is now around 82. It's gone down a little bit, but that's where the debris ball would be heading towards the intersection of Neosho Road and Nevada Terrace.
Thanks, Mike. I got a closer look in that too. So that's eventually going to go down towards Oregon Road, kind of on the cross street. It looks like this turns into Marshall Road. Right here is Nevada Terrace, and then crossing over to Neshoa Road. This is where we're looking at that rotation right now. So if you live on these roads, in the middle of them, in between Nevada Terrace and Neshoa Road, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place room right now, likely intersecting towards kind of Marshall Lane as well later on down the line and Neshoa Road too. So if you live in that kind of cross section, make sure you're getting in your tornado safe Neosho Road, make sure you're getting in your tornado safe place zone. Looks eventually down the line, if you live kind of at that cross section of Oregon Road too, that is going to include you here shortly. So as we kind of look at the cross sections, still Nevada Terrace, Neosho Road, this is where we're looking at where that rotation is right now at this time. Likely maybe a little bit closer towards that intersection of Marshall Lane and Neosho Road too, as this may be about a minute or two behind right now. Mike, are you seeing anything over there?
I'm trying to look up right now what the Weather Service is talking about. They're saying with the slow motion, expect to see the mesocyclone. That's the bigger rotation in the middle parts of the severe thunderstorm that creates the smaller rotation or cyclone, the tornado. They're saying that is going to deviate and possibly move left and inward. Storm will have the ability to recycle while the storm itself moves east. The rotation could shift northward while this process happens. And we've talked about that. These tornadoes do not always move in a straight line. They do a little bit of a loop every once in a while. And it looks like right behind me, we've got the latest scan. Let me see if I can find that debris ball once again and see where it's heading right now. Let's go on out, and if it's anywhere, it could be right there, Neosho Road and Marshall Lane. So that's possibly where it is right now, Melissa.
Thanks. Once again, kind of looking at our winds, it's kind of hard to see when we think about the velocity couplet here because we are so zoomed in. You can see more of the pixels, but that's still where we're seeing it. Nevada Terrace, and then kind of going to be crossing over the intersection of Marshall Lane and Neosho Road. So right in this realm is where we're looking at. You need to be in your tornado safe place zone right now, eventually down the line, as this is going to be moving towards possibly the northeast. We're looking at eventually pushing towards Neosho Road intersection and Oregon Road. So if you are in that intersection, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place as well. If we see it take more of a northeasterly track, could be heading slightly towards that Neosho Road and maybe even closer to 68 and Oregon Road. So we're going to be watching the latest scans because, as Mike had mentioned, maybe it goes a little bit towards the northeast as it's recycling. But if it stays east, we're still looking at Neosho Road, Marshall Lane, and then eventually closer to Neosho Road, kind of connecting to Oregon Road. And even as we zoom out, let me pull it a little bit towards the east here, because I don't want to cover up where it's headed next. We're looking at still the intersection of Neosho Road, Oregon Road, where it's going to be headed next, likely just maybe south of 68 if it takes more of the northeast track. If it goes still easterly, Neosho and Marshall Lane, that intersection needs to be in their tornado safe place zone right now. Once again, if you are just joining us, know that this is a confirmed tornado that we are tracking in Franklin County. I want to zoom out, show you the warning once again, as we have seen some additional warnings be added ahead of this specific kind of tornado warning that does include portions of southern Johnson County, Kansas. So we'll get to that here in just a second, but we're really tracking this tornado warning. But I did want to let you know, if you live in southern Johnson County, Kansas, you are included in Edgerton for the severe thunderstorm warning. That still is a considerable tag for what I assume is tennis ball sized hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. So it's on the backside of this where we're watching that tornado warning until 8 p.m. It is 7:52 right now. It has been confirmed. We're going to go back and track where this is moving right now. It looks like it is still moving just maybe south, just a touch south of 68. It has crossed over the intersection of Neosho Road and Marshall Lane. It is heading next towards Oregon Road and the intersection of Neosho Road. So kind of right in this intersection, likely south of 68. If you live on the southern side of 68 in the interchange of Oregon Road, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now, as well as if you're crossing over and we kind of look even further, we're looking at Tennessee Road eventually being in a spot where you need to get in your tornado safe place as well. So as I mentioned, we're kind of looking right here, Neosho Road, Oregon Road, this is where it's going to be going next. You need to be in your tornado safe place. And then eventually Neosho Road running into Tennessee Road as we look later on down the line. So this is where we're seeing the rotation right now in this general vicinity. Going to be crossing over Oregon Road just north of Osho Road. So that's where we're looking at the rotation. Looks like it's going to track possibly along or just south of 68. Eventually, the crosshair where we're looking at, that cross street, is going to be Tennessee Road. So if you live 68 in Tennessee Road or Osho Road, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. Yes,
you want
Mike?
to take a look at that? Yeah. Here's this is from Wellsville. This is I-35. This is looking down to the southwest. You can see how heavy the rain is out of this storm, and this is well away from the hail core. It's well away from the debris ball. It's well away from the tornado, but you can see the water developing a little bit of some ponding just off the road, but it's coming off the road. So those ditches are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. They're taking the brunt of the rain that is falling and trying to pull it off the road so there's no hydroplane. You can see how slowly the cars are moving right now. Not in any danger here for a tornado. It looks like it's going to stay just a little bit south of there, but it's close enough that it was nice to see that truck pull off into that rest stop. He's doing the smart thing there. He's probably been through a couple of these and getting out. So here's Wellsville. So we're looking right there. Here's the hail core, and we know the tornado is just south of that. So the hail is up to about 1.5 inches right now as it continues to move right along Highway 68. Melissa?
Thanks, Mike. I did want to kind of point out your attention to, looks like they may do another tornado warning later down the line. So just kind of pay attention to that here shortly. We expect to see some sort of continuation. Issued. Yep. Okay. Will you pull that up, and then I will continue to track this?
It's northwest Miami County, so the storm is now starting to move into northwest Miami County.
Yep.
Let's see if we see anything where it is severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is near Rantoul, Rantoul, about 7 miles east of Ottawa, moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. So that is a new tornado warning for northwestern Miami County. This goes until 8:30, so another 35 minutes of potential tornadic supercell moving into a little bit closer to the metro, but still a little bit outside of it in northwestern Miami County.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Here's a look once again at the velocity couplet, or where we're seeing that rotation. We know once again that this has been a confirmed tornado. It's been spotted a few times now at this point. Most recently, it was generally just south of Ottawa. This is where we're seeing the rotation, just south of 68, just north of Emes. So if we zoom in once again and go cross streets, we're going to get real close once again. It looks like that's going to be crossing Neosho Road, Oregon Road, just going south of 68, eventually down the line. Tennessee Road, 68 interchange, that cross street, you need to be in your tornado safe place as well. So basically between Neosho Road, 68, and Tennessee Road, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. Later on down the line, likely looking at, because I want to make sure we kind of get our places a little bit further ahead, it's eventually going to go 68, Texas Road, and still Neosho is kind of that kind of west-east road. So 68, Tennessee Road, Neosho Road to Texas Road, this is where it's going to be going next. So once again, if we zoom out and we take a look at where that rotation is now, we are going to see it kind of track towards the northeast a little bit more, just south of 68. And as we kind of zoom in and get our cross streets again, we're looking at Neosho Road, it being just north of Neosho Road, just south of 68, crossing from Oregon Road to Tennessee Road to Texas Road later on. So you need to be getting in your tornado safe place if you live in those corridors, specifically between 68 as well as Neosho Road. I'm talking to you, Oregon Road, as well as Tennessee Road, and then Texas Road later on down the line. So you need to be getting in your tornado safe place now. As a reminder, that is the lowest part of your home and or your apartment, as well as away from windows and doors. Keep in mind, this has been a confirmed tornado we have seen we've been tracking this tornado warning here for a while now. But as you can see, we still got that continuation of the tornado warning as we've got about 1 more minute on the warning itself. And then it's going to cross into Miami County. So
I've got a very nice correlation coefficient, which is a number we use to talk about the debris tracker. It's right at 33 and 68. This green you see right here, the closer we are to 1, the more we are sure that there is debris in the air. In fact, 0.96 is close enough. So right at 33 and 68, Melissa, that's where we're seeing the debris tracker picking up debris right now. That is very impressive. That's the highest number we've seen, or the closest to 1 inch or 1 so far, and the closer we get to 1, the more likely there is debris in the air. It's seeing irregular shaped objects is what it's seeing. It's not seeing spherical like hail or rain. It's seeing stuff that's been picked up off the ground and is flying through the air. So we've got debris in the air around Highway K33 and K68 just to the east of Vermont Road. Melissa?
Thanks, Mike. We're taking a look at our CRC at Wellsville Road. This is I-35 at Wellsville. It just got paused, but you could see heavy rainfall. It's dark. We've got a lot of lightning with it as well. You could see the wind going, as we could see a little bit of the kind of wind pushing the rain itself as you look closer to the roadway. Of course, it's now 8 p.m., so it is dark out. So that confirmed tornado that we're watching is likely going to be very hard to see now that we're to the point where the sun is down. As Mike had mentioned, possibly it being rain wrapped. So once again, still that tornado warning continues for kind of another minute. Mike, also?
Yeah, there's something new that just came down. I'm trying to pull it up.
Let me pull back to this one. Know that the confirmed tornado in Franklin County is going to be crossing over to Miami County here in just a second. But I want to get you to just west. We now have also a tornado warning for Franklin County. As I mentioned, if you've been watching us for a while, we were looking back at the second storm. It had been pulsing up, pulsing down. We were watching it for that tornado potential, as there was a tornado warning on it before. It dropped off. Now it's back. We're seeing once again a typical textbook image of a supercell with a hook right now. So tornado warning for Franklin County. And Mike, I think at this point you want to go back to back. You track one, I track the other.
You take the lead on the one that has a confirmed tornado, which is the first one, and I'll keep an eye on this one. How about that?
Okay, perfect. So eventually, Sonoma, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place once again, as you have a new potential for a tornado to be moving through your area. So once again, I'm going to move back towards the east, show you what's going on, crossing over from Franklin County, and eventually into Miami County. You could see a whole lot of lightning as with this. We had mentioned it was a confirmed tornado. There has been confirmation of this tornado a few times. And now the warning is going to kind of extend into Miami County. So it's not quite there yet. So that's why we've still got that red box on there. But it's going to be crossing into that area here shortly. So let's zoom in, take a look at our Doppler winds once again, as it's now a little bit closer to kind of 35 and 68, took more of a northerly track, Tennessee Road. So you need to be in your tornado safe place zone right now. 33 and 68 needs to be in their tornado safe place as well. As Mike had mentioned, that's where they're seeing some of that possibility of debris being lifted up. So it's kind of going to track, looks like now, along 35, heading towards 3368. That's where Mike had saw that correlation coefficient, or the debris tracker, as we call it. 33 and 68 is where it was. So now likely going west towards let me zoom in, get a little bit of closer look, 231st Street and in between 68. So this is where we're looking next, that kind of interchange of 35 west 231st Street and 68 for that rotation to be moving in next. Eventually, later on down the line, we're looking at places like Antioch, looks to be just maybe south of Antioch. That's going to be headed your way. Mike, I want to send it over to you quick.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the tornado warning for Franklin and Osage. This thing is Doppler radar indicated. It's going pretty close to where the other one did. Pomona Lake right now moving to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So you can see kind of the inflow notch starting to develop there. You can see, oh, look at that, Highway 68. There's Pomona once again. And this thing is racing off to the east. It's going to hit some of those areas that were just raked over a little bit, at least in this part, by more hail. That first supercell that came through there, and this is kind of where we started to see it spin up and possibly start producing that tornado. So we got a tornado warning until 8:30 for Franklin, which is in our area. Osage is to the west, so it's going to move across the line. There's the state line right there. There's Franklin, and it's going to come right across. And if this thing holds together, it's going to go right where the same way the other one went. So let me put a track on this. And that means those of you that maybe just came out of your safe spot, let's go ahead and return to that. Let's go ahead and go back to that safe spot. Let's go all the way through Ottawa and give you an idea. Right now it's 8:03, almost 8:04. So Pomona, you got a couple of minutes. Just go back to that safe spot once again. I know you're good at it now. Now you can do it without even thinking twice about it probably. Richter, 8:16. We've heard these places before, haven't we? Davie School at 8:18. Wyckoff School at 8:21. Eisenhower Elementary School, 8:25. Ottawa at 8:26. So this one's moving a little bit faster than the other one. This one's moving around 30 miles per hour. The other one was moving at 25. So it's moving a little bit faster. But if you just come out of your area, go back down. Quinamo, it's right on top of you, right near you. Hopefully you are down in that area right now and listening to us or watching us through KCTV5 Plus on the app or streaming. And you can see right there heading towards Pomona. That is definitely what we're looking at. Again, this is radar indicated out of the storm. I keep looking at the debris tracker. I do not see a sign with this one that was nearly as intense as the other one. Not looking anywhere around here right now. We're not seeing any of that light green or that turquoise, which is what we would want to see out of this particular storm. We'll keep an eye on this area. That looks a little interesting as that is out on the front edge of that rotation that you can see the inflow notch kind of going right there. So this is a radar indicated, possibly tornado out of this one. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this and see what this says. And so it's 0.93. That's pretty high once again. And what we'd like to do is go ahead and put the radar on top of it to make sure they match. And they are pretty, it's a little bit, there you go. It's pretty close to each other. So it looks like we may have another one on the ground, at least by looking at the debris tracker, Melissa.
Thanks, Mike. Moving ahead to the storm that's in Miami County. But before we get there, this is still I-35, K-33 at Wellsville. This is just north of where the rotation is. You can see there is so much lightning that is happening as we look out. A lot of thunder. We've seen a lot of lightning with these storms. I know we haven't really talked about the lightning a whole lot because we have been tracking the rotation, but a lot of lightning, thunder, heavy rainfall, as well as these storms also warned for large hail, $50 sized hail, tennis ball sized hail. So we're also not only looking at the potential for a tornado, we're also looking at large hail. But I did want to kind of walk you back through the storm and the tornado warning that's going through Miami County right now. The rotation has just pushed east out of Franklin into Miami County. So now Mike is looking at the storm that's just back towards the west. This is the one that's a little bit more towards the east at this point. So 8:30 is how long this will go to. Right now it is 8:06. And I want to put on the lightning quickly before we kind of get into a track, you can see a whole lot of lightning that's happening right now towards the core of the storm. So if I take the lightning off, we zoom back in where that potential rotation is, we're looking likely east of 35 and near the cross street of West 231st Street, heading towards Antioch. So Antioch, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place zone. That's eventually going to cross to the West 223rd Street as we cross over, generally going just following more likely along I-35 is where we're looking at. So we're Antioch, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place zone. Right now, it is in between 35 and West 231st Street. You need to be getting in your tornado safe place zone right now. Antioch needs to be in your tornado safe place zone right now as well. This looks to be moving just towards the south of Edgerton. Keep in mind the kind of counties that are just towards the north of this. Once again, as I pull this up, of course, Miami County is just south of Johnson County, Kansas. So we're looking at the rotation generally just towards the south as well, back towards, let's zoom in once again, just east of 3368. It's going to be moving towards the northeast for the most part, and then just south, getting maybe just south of Antioch. As I'm still looking at the potential up towards the north, but this is also where we're watching right now at this time. 816 Poplar Ridge School. Keep in mind it's 808 right now. If you live in the neighborhood towards Poplar Ridge School, you need to be in your tornado safe place now. 823 Scott Valley School, going to be moving into your area. Make sure you're getting in your tornado safe place zone. Mike, over to you.
Yeah, the radar is showing the rotation from our second tornadic supercell right on top of Pomona, or just to the north of it. You can see this is the Topeka radar, so this is going towards Topeka. This is going away from Topeka, so you got your classic counterclockwise or cyclonic rotation that you would see in a tornado. And you can see it is very nice gate-to-gate shear there. It's just north of 68, so this one is running almost the same spot, parallel to the other one. Let's see how much. It's actually about maybe 2 miles north of where the other one ran through, because it ran right across 68. So Richter, Centropolis, it looks like this thing's going to move right between you and head over to 59. Let me go down and take you down to street level and show you exactly where this is right now. And let's get rid of that, and let's go a little bit closer. And Colorado. Okay, that's the road that it could be on right now, heading towards Idaho. Here's Shawnee Road. So all of these areas are in play as this is moving off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. Looking to see if we have possibly something on the debris tracker. Let me take a look at this. And we're looking at 0.59. That's not all that impressive, but it's something we'll keep an eye on. It's not as impressive as the other one. And again, the other storm that came through here, which was actually on the ground. This one's radar indicated so far. So that's what we're looking at right there. There's again, you could see that right on top of where the circulation is. And that means that maybe there's something on the ground, or maybe there's something just hovering above the ground, pulling a little bit off the ground. It's just not a great coefficient or comparison between a sphere and an object that may not be spherical, which would be, rain or hail or something debris-like. So let's take a look at this one. Let me go out. Let me look at how it's just on the heels. Look at it. Hook and hook. And look at how close these are to each other. Let me put a track on this one real quick, then I'll get back to you, Melissa, to take a look at that one that's closer to the metro. So okay. Pomona, hopefully you are down in your safe space right now. Let's go all the way out about 38 minutes. Okay, so right now it's 8:11, so it is on top of Pomona. Richter, you've got about 6 or 7 minutes. Davie School, 8:20. Eisenhower Elementary School, if you live near that, you're in that area. Seek shelter. Ottawa, hopefully when we have events like this, you have multiple ways to receive warnings. We know there's at least 8,700 people in Ottawa that do not have power right now. So one of the ways they could be watching us is, on this. through KCTV5 Plus or our app. So that's why we want to make sure you have everything charged up and ready to go in case you do lose power, that you can continue to get those updates. So if you live upstream of these, which Melissa's going to show you, start thinking about plugging these things in and getting them charged in case something like that happens to you also. Melissa?
I wanted to show kind of a wide look at radar once again. We've got the 2 tornado warnings that are in place, kind of tracking along I-35 and just south of the Kansas City Metro. Do know if you live in the southwestern side of the 435 loop, you're likely seeing some light rain right now, but some of our southwestern portions of Johnson County, Kansas are included in the severe thunderstorm warning for $half sized hail. However, Mike, I want to put your attention to Lynn County. We're going to be watching Lynn County right now, also for the possibility of tornado possible. We are seeing, once again, a kind of classic signature of a hook. We're going to keep watching down in Lynn County, but Lynn County know that is for large hail and strong winds. Right now, I want to zoom back in to the tornado warning that is in portions of Miami County. This continues until 8:30. It looks like it is losing a little bit of its structure, which is good. However, there is still that rotation that we're watching, likely getting a little bit more towards the kind of northwestern portions of Miami County. So I'm going to zoom back in once again where we're seeing the possibility of that rotation, more likely up along the west 231st Street, moving up towards the northeast. Antioch may likely be in that kind of crosshair. So Antioch need to be getting in your tornado safe place zone, west 231st Street. Again, this is in Miami County. We're talking about the possibility of a tornado. It is radar indicated. However, this specific storm, this specific supercell, as we've gone through the last about 2 hours or so, we have seen confirmed tornadoes come out of this specific supercell. So it is radar confirmed right now. West 231st Street, Antioch, need to be getting in your tornado safe place zone, as well as later on down the line, as we look at the crosshairs of West Gardner and West 233rd Street. So zooming out once again, it's getting a little bit more complicated to maybe see the structure of where that rotation is. As I mentioned, maybe losing a little bit of its classic structure. And so I want to once again go ahead, put a new track on this. But before we get to that, I want to send it over to Mike. Mike's tracking that other tornado warning too.
Well, there may be a third one. Melissa, let's take a look at this first. This is I-35 in Elm. You can see the torrential rain moving into the metro. You can see the spray coming up, the water that is sitting on the highway. That is what we're looking at. All right, so this is Lynn County, and this thing is rotating also. Right now, it is a severe, they just changed it to a tornado warning. So they have just issued a tornado warning for Bates on the Missouri side, Lynn on the Kansas side, Mound City right now, Pleasanton right now, quickly but calmly down to the lowest floor, most interior room. Execute your safety plan. This is a spotter indicated tornado in Lynn County. And so you can see the hail core over Mound City. You can see the hail core just near Blue Mound. Let's put a track on this one real quick. Let's see, it's moving to the east at about 30 miles per hour, which is pretty par for the course so far. So let's put it right there and go this way. And so you can see Prescott Elementary, 831. You've got a little bit of time there. Let me jog this just a little bit to the north and just get Mound City in there just in case and see if we see any. There you go. You got Layhawk Elementary School, Mound City at 821, Pleasanton 832, Lynn County, there you go, Hume School at 843. So this is a spotter that has seen the tornado. It is confirmed. It's a tornado warning until at least going to at least 8:30. Let's get rid of this. And
they confirmed.
They confirmed it, yeah, until 8:45. Yeah, this is confirmed from a spotter on this particular one. Let's take a look at where the rotation may be. Give me 1 second. I'll get down to that storm here. We've been following these other two so much. Oh, yeah, you can definitely see the rotation right there. So this is out of we're using now the Kansas City radar. So this is moving away from Kansas City. This is moving towards Kansas City. You can see right there on about K31, we've got our best gate-to-gate shear right next to it. In fact, let's go just a little bit closer. And you can see right there, that's kind of what we're looking at, heading right up K52 and up to K7. And if this is moving to the east, it could, this area right across the southern parts of Mound City, maybe even hit Mound City. So that's what we're looking at, a new tornado warning till 8:45 for Lynn County. Melissa?
I want to do another kind of look to show you the 3 tornado warnings that are out there right now. This does not include the Kansas City Metro. It is just towards the south of the 435 loop. Here's the 3 that we are looking at. Franklin County, Miami County. Now they have just added the black box for Lynn County. That means that there is a confirmed tornado in Lynn County, as Mike had just mentioned. So we're going to kind of go back to Lynn County. We're going to go up to Ottawa and then back over towards Miami County to kind of track out the 3 that are in place. And I think, Mike, maybe you're a little bit more set up to track off.
This one in
yes.
Lynn County? Yeah. Let's go back.
Yeah.
Let's go back, and there you go. You can see still sitting right there on just right on K52, moving away from K31, heading towards Mound City. Here's East 875 Road, Lane Road. All those are in play. Kreitzer, you're probably on the back side of this. I would still be in my shelter right now, in my safe spot. But it really looks like this could be moving more towards Mound City. So if you're in Mound City, please find that safe spot right now. Let me go down here and see if we have any debris in the air. And if we did, it would be right about here. And so this one is showing 0.7, so there may be a little bit there, not as good as what we've seen earlier, but this is the general area, and there's Mound City right there. Let's see if we can take a look at, let me go in a little bit closer here, and you can see all of these roads in Mound City that are about to get hit. So we're talking about Sunset Drive, Sumac, Sugar Lake, Fairway, all of these areas just to the east of K7. Please get to your shelter right now. This storm is heading your way. You still have a few minutes before it gets there, but this is definitely a very impressive looking storm that Spotter has confirmed tornado, which is impressive because it is getting dark outside right now, and they're going to have to start looking for the blue flashes of the power lines popping and the lightning in the storm itself to be able to see these storms. So there we go. We're still looking at this highway of 52. Still looking at right here, your gate-to-gate shear. You want these 2 right next to each other. You want the brightest of the red and the brightest of the green right next to each other. That gives you the fastest rotation, and that's exactly what we're seeing. As far as what it looks like on radar, let's go down, take a look at it. And it doesn't have quite the hook that the other one did. Let me try a different radar site really quick, because that one's Topeka. Let me try Kansas City's. There you go. You see a much better hook developing right over Mound City. There's your inflow notch. There's your spin right where 52 and 7 come together. So if there is something spinning, it's nearly right on. It's on top of Mound City right now. So we need to get into our shelter. Melissa?
Thanks, Mike. We've got our Corey Kowitz back into the studio as well. So the 3 of us are going to be here. What we're going to do is we are going to track each individual tornado warning. Make sure we're saying the counties first as we kind of dive in a little bit deeper. So Mike is going to talk about Lynn County. I'm going to get into places like Franklin County, and our Corey Kowitz is going to track portions of Miami County and into southeastern Johnson County, Kansas. So I'm going to zoom in. We're looking at the storm that is the tornado warning that is in the western side of Franklin County, Sonoma. We have been through this already. You have been cleared out of that tornado warning. If you are in Richter, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. So I kind of wanted to show you the specific storm structure once again. We'll zoom in, kind of zone by zone where we're looking at the potential of that rotation. And it looks to be just north of Richter and along this kind of southern edge of Centropolis. So between Centropolis, Richter, this is where we're looking at. I'm going to get a little bit closer into the cross streets. This is going to be Ottawa Junction heading towards your area. These have been moving pretty slow, 20 to 30 miles an hour, most of them between 25. So just north of Richter. We have mentioned this as well because they have already seen a tornado warning so far this evening. I'm going to put a quick track on this. This is going to be moving towards the east, 25 miles an hour. Ottawa Junction, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place now. You've got about 10 minutes. But if you live in Baxter, near Baxter School, 827, keep in mind right now it is 821. And then Sand Creek School around 832. Ottawa Junction around 8:34, and then Greendale School is going to be heading in your area around 8:36 p.m. So that is the one specific tornado warning that we are watching right now. This is for portions of Franklin County. Keep in mind, we've got 2 others. We're tracking 3 tornado warnings right now. We're going to get to Mike shortly on the confirmed tornado in just a minute. But once again, setting the stage, if you live in Franklin County, you have a tornado warning in place until 8:30. It is 8:22. It is going to be just north of Richter right now. You need to be getting in your tornado safe place. We're going to get to Corey now on the other storm that's just towards the north.
Yeah, and this storm has really been turned up a notch. Tornado warned storm, but now it has an observed tornado with it. What are we talking about right now? Northern Miami County, southeastern part of Johnson County, just south of Kansas City. And here is that stretch of that storm that now has a tornado confirmed. We're looking at US 169 here, looking northbound. A lot of lightning. We got some movement there. And again, guys, it's dark out there, so it's going to have trouble seeing that tornado. Please take shelter, take cover. It's a very dangerous situation. So we have, we're looking at that storm here. We're looking now, we're spinning it around. Again, this is northern Miami County, and we're looking to southeastern Johnson County. I'm not sure if we can go back to radar here because it's putting out a pretty mean hook. All right, here we go. We're looking at the radar here. And I'm going to step off a little bit here. Look at this. Look over the last few scans here, how it's really wrapped around. We're starting to see that signal hook. It looks to have re-intensified here. We're talking just south of Spring Hill. And this would be Route 169 right here, just south of Kansas City, moving towards Route 69. So there's that hook. Let's see if we have a good velocity scan. Yes, we do. Okay, so what are we looking at here? This is what we look at here for tornado rotation. And we're really seeing it right now. This is towards the radar over here, away from the radar. And this is a pretty good looking scan of a severe storm. Again, about to move through Route 169 just south of Spring Hill, en route for Stillwell, Stanley. Again, not just a tornado warrant storm. This is a confirmed tornado once again. Let's see also if we can get a debris ball as well. Or let me just go back here to the radar. I'm going to go back to the radar. It's a good hook, very good hook here, and it's moving off to the east, northeast. I'm going to look at some details of this. Confirmed tornado was located near Spring Hill. This is from the National Weather Service. Damaging tornado, $50 size hail. Flying debris will be dangerous caught in the storm, and it's moving east at 25 miles per hour. So this is a dangerous situation. Please go in your safe space. Any around here, Spring Hill, Belton, Peculiar, Lee Summit, all these spaces out towards where the tornado is moving. It's moving out to the east here, generally speaking, at 25 miles per hour. And what does that safe space look like? We're talking lowest floor of whatever structure you're in, most interior room. If you have a basement, great. And a lot of times that's going to be your bathroom. That's where you're going to need to huddle up. Again, this is a confirmed tornado on the ground. I'm going to send it back to Melissa here.
Thanks, Corey. I want to go back over to Mike once again. Here's a look at what we're looking at. We've got 2 confirmed tornadoes that are on the ground right now. Mike is tracking the storm and the tornado that is in Lynn County. Mike, over to you.
Yeah, it's confirmed. It's in Mound City right now is what the spotters are saying. You can see right there the gate-to-gate shear, the winds that are circulating away from Kansas City and towards Kansas City. It's right where 52 and K7 come together just south of East 875th. It's in the city of Mound City. It's in Mound City right now. That is where you need to be seeking shelter if you can. Let me put a track on this one. because this is already, we're starting to see with a new scan that this may be a little bit moving away from Mound City and a little bit closer, getting closer to Pleasanton. So if you're in Pleasanton, you make sure you are executing that safety plan. Remember to stay calm if you have kids. The dog may be going a little crazy because of the pressure hurting their ears. Just tell the kids that that's what's going on, and it's nothing to be too scared about. The dog will be fine. But do know that heading towards Pleasanton right now, we do have a confirmed tornado. If we look at something that could be, let's see what this is. Let's see. Okay, that is nothing. So that's good. So, Melissa, we continue to watch that. It's till 8:45, and we're going to continue to watch that. That's for Lynn County, but it's also going to cross over into Bates County. So if you're on the Missouri side, make sure you are getting ready to seek shelter. If not, going down and seeking shelter right now, as Corey mentioned, lowest floor, most interior room. Melissa?
Thanks, Mike. If you're just joining us now, we've got 3 tornado warnings that are in place. Myself, Mike, and our Corey Kowitz are here in the studio tracking all 3. 2 of them confirmed, one in Miami County, another one in Lynn County. Right now, I am tracking an unconfirmed radar kind of rotation that we're watching. Tornado warning is in place for Franklin County. That is until 8:30 p.m. So as we kind of have 3 that we're tracking, I want to make sure to kind of zoom in, show you where we are currently at, as we're going to kind of be ping-ponging through the 3 of them as we continue through this coverage. So right now, no, there's a lot of lightning with this specific tornado warning. We are looking specifically at this hook on the southwestern side of this specific storm. So overall, we have been seeing it pretty much be just north of Richter. If you have been watching us here over the last couple of hours, we have seen this is now the 2nd tornado to be going through this specific area. So likely just north of Richter. It's getting a little bit harder to see. I'm going to make sure I can kind of change this to be our Topeka radar. So give me 1 second as I try to switch over to see if I get a little bit more clarity. Looks like I can. Crossing kind of over, eventually moving into Ottawa Junction. So Ottawa Junction, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. That is out of the tornado warned area. We're going to continue to see if this is going to continue at 8:30 or not, but know that they did add a severe thunderstorm warning that will extend off towards the east. So I'll be interested to know if I can get some more information on whether or not we are going to continue the tornado warning, which will be done in about 2 minutes. But still, if you are in portions of Ottawa Junction, make sure you're getting in your tornado safe place right now. Corey?
Hey, thank you, Melissa. We're taking another look here at Route 169. Pitch black. We have cars that are stuck. And again, I want to add, it's dark out there. You're not going to be able to see that tornado. That just adds another level of danger, and you need to take it seriously. Cars stuck, and this is really looking like a nasty system and storm. It has the supercell textbook look. And there's just tons of lightning here, and it's causing a lot of issues. I really want to jump to the radar here, and what we're seeing is looking to strengthen even more. Again, confirmed tornado with this warned storm. It is racing at 25 miles per hour towards Cleveland, and it's looking to make a beeline here towards Cass County. Right now, it's in Miami County and southern parts of Jackson County, but looking to make a beeline into Cass County, crossing over there into the Kansas side, Cleveland peculiar, and looking intersect areas of Route 49. I want to put on the correlation coefficient. That could show a debris ball, and it looks like it is. So what we're looking at is the particles in the air, and when you see these lighter colors, right, that's indicating, okay, that looks like a debris ball. It's in one place, and that's telling me tornadoes on the ground. It's turning things up, and it's picking things up, which means it's causing damage. You need to take this seriously. There's Route 69, and we just showed that camera there of Route 169. It's past it. It's now moving off to the east towards Route 69, toward Riverview. And real quickly here, I'm just going to put a storm tracker on this because you could see, I'm going to step off. This is a classic look. There's that strengthening. You can really see that hook and tornado look forming here. So I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to go out to the east. And this is kind of what we're looking at here of the timing of spots that could be getting impact to the tornado. I'll send it back to Melissa.
Thanks, Corey. I want to update you. I mentioned that we were watching to see if they were going to continue to issue the tornado warning for portions of Franklin County. The good news is that they are not. So right now, this is now a severe thunderstorm warning for Douglas and Franklin counties. And this is going to be for ping pong sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So if you live in portions of our Douglas and Franklin County, we are not looking at the tornado potential anymore. Now we're transitioning to ping pong sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So right now, we're going to go back to the 2 confirmed tornadoes that are in place. Once again, setting the stage of what we're looking at right now. It is just kind of south of the Kansas City 435 loop. We've got the one that's in portions of northern Miami County and then southeastern portions of our Johnson County, Kansas. Down towards the south, Lynn County, also a tornado warning just east of Mound City. I do want to zoom in on Kansas City to let you know that if you are in the 435 loop right now, you are likely seeing some pockets of heavy rain, hearing thunder, seeing lightning. These are general thunderstorms right now that kind of the severe thunderstorm warning kind of clips portions of Olathe right now, but we are going to continuing to focus on the 2 tornado warnings that we're watching in portions of Lynn County as well as Miami County. Mike, can I send it back over to you for the Lynn County tornado?
Absolutely. I mean, look at this rotation right on top of Pleasanton right there. That is Highway 69. This is Lynn County. This is over into Bates County in Missouri. So we're seeing the rotation right on top of Pleasanton right now, right on top of 69. This is radar indicated right now, but it has had a history of the tornado actually coming down, or the funnel cloud becoming a tornado when it touched the ground. So we're going to take this one and we're going to treat it as if that is on the ground, because that is a pretty hot looking radar return. It's probably cranking out some pretty big hail too. This looks like a little bit of a broader rotation than we've seen lately. And the broader the rotation, it usually means it's starting to pump out a little bit of hail also. But you can clearly see the hook right there, right on top of Pleasanton on Highway 69. Here's the inflow notch. And you can see the storm wrapping up very nicely. And this is going to continue heading off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So this warning goes until 8:45, and you can see the edge of the warning right there crossing over into Missouri. This is the state line right there. Highway 69 once again, Lynn County. Let me go out just a little bit more, move this over, and let's get this track going here. Now again, that looks very impressive. There we go. Let's go over towards Foster, about 20 minutes. Let's go all the way over towards Butler. Let's go about 43 minutes out and get an idea of what we're looking at here. So current time is 8:34. So this is going to go through a relatively more farm area. Warland at 8:45, Foster School, 8:51, Nyhart, 8:59. Cornland School, if you live near that, or Monteith Junction, or Butler Memorial. Yeah, now's the time to get a hold of everybody and make sure that, hey, we know what we're going to do when this gets closer. We know where to go. We know how to communicate with each other in case we get separated. Make sure that everybody's off the road and in a safe spot. So once again, we still have time as this is sitting over Pleasanton, but Pleasanton, you don't have time. Hopefully you are in your safe spot right now. I want to check just real quick to see if there's an update from the Weather Service on this. Okay, I'm seeing one for Spring Hill in Miami County. So is that the one you're tracking, Melissa? All right, let's go to you then, because that's a report of a tornado.
Okay. So right now, once again, kind of setting the stage, Johnson, Miami County are included in this tornado warning. Miami County, the confirmed tornado is in Miami County. It is not in Johnson County right now. I want to zoom in, show you where we're looking at. I am actually looking at 2 kind of potential locations of rotation, but the confirmed tornado is just 2 miles southeast of Spring Hill. What we're looking at is pretty much on the west 223rd Street corridor, tracking off towards the east. This is, I mentioned, more likely moving east around. They've been moving around 30 miles an hour. It's moving 30 miles an hour right now. So it's west 223rd Street, just to the southwest of Spring Hill. This is where we're looking at right now. It is south of West 199th Street, likely tracking on West 223rd 23rd Street. I'm going to zoom out, show you a little bit more locations here down the line that eventually turns into Main Street. So Main Street and kind of West 223rd and in between West 199th in Miami County, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. So this is where we're looking at that rotation where we are seeing a little bit of that kind of speck of yellow mixing in there. This is where we're watching. I also want to watch too, just down towards the southwest here, closer to Childs. I'm going to watch this as well. Not quite as tight of rotation, but that would likely be crossing over Somerset Road, West 247th Street. So I'm going to watch this specific area, but right now when we think about that confirmed tornado, I'm likely thinking just 2 miles to the southeast was where it was confirmed. I'm going to make sure that this is about 2 miles to the southeast for just some confirmation to know that this is the correct spot we're looking at. Yep, and I'm going to watch that rotation down towards Childs as well. So I'm going to watch 2 spots. This is the spot where we have seen confirmed tornado, West 223rd Street, moving towards the east around 30 miles an hour. So it's likely going to move just along West 223rd Street. This is in, once again, Miami County. Later on, it is going to be crossing 69 and West 223rd Street. Likely just south of Stillwell, 69, as I mentioned, and 223rd Street. You need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. So Stillwell, as well as portions of that kind of 223rd Street, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place now. Once again, this has been a confirmed tornado, recently confirmed. Also looking at the potential for some small hail with the storm down towards Lynn County. Just wanted to let Mike know about that too. But as we look, this is what we're looking at. This is the storm. This is what the storm's portions we're looking at, kind of confirmed tornado. Once again, this is the southeastern portion of Johnson County. The specific tornado area that we're tracking, that is in Miami County right now. Zooming once again in to show you where we're watching that rotation. Looks like it's getting a little bit more broad. Still would be closer to West 223rd Street. Going to be crossing over 69 Highway, and then eventually south of Stillwell, crossing over Metcalf Avenue. So, excuse me, if you are in Lynn County along West 223rd Street, 69 Highway, crossing over to Metcalf Avenue south of Stillwell, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place now. I'm going to send it. Mike, can I send it back over to you to track this one towards south?
In just 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry.
We'll keep on tracking this. Nope. Yeah. Just wanted to make sure. So once again, if we back it up, we're looking at this specific storm. If you live in Lynn County, looks like they just extended, or excuse me, Miami County, looks like they just extended that tornado warning to move towards the east, towards Cleveland, Westlake, Lake Ann, Freeman. This is going to include those specific areas. So once again, here's kind of a wide look. We're looking at the continuation of this tornado warning over towards the east. It's going to clip. It's going to include Peculiar, Freeman, just to the east and crossing over county lines. So if we go back to our kind of radar rotation, and then we'll get back and check with Mike where we're looking at for the possibility of that tornado down
Spotter.
Towards Lynn.
Yeah, Spotter's got it right now. So they say they reissued a confirmed tornado warning until 9 o'clock for this because the spotter has said they saw one and it's moving to the east of Pleasanton, heading to Worland at 8:45. So it's going to cross over the border into Missouri here in the next 2 or 3, maybe 4 minutes. Foster, go ahead. Execute your safety plan. Let's go to Grandview School, Nyart, 8:56, 9 o'clock, Monty School, Junction. We've talked about all these, 9:06. So it's still on that same path we talked about before. So make sure you're getting a hold of everybody and letting them know what to do, where to go, how to meet up. Let me move this just a little bit farther over and let's get a new update on this. Let's try that one more time. Okay, there we go. Let's move this down so you can see exactly. So Rucker is in this also. That's a new one we've just talked about, 848 and Rucker. So Rucker looks to be the first one that is going to be possibly impacted when this moves across the state line, which it is doing right now. You can clearly see that nice hook in there. Let's see if you can see it right there moving towards Worland. It is, okay, in this vantage point, it looks like it's just a little bit back from the state line. We could see there's K52 moving in there. So this is what we're looking at right now with this particular storm coming in. Actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's take a look at that. In Butler over there, you see Foster, Amoret, all those are on the Missouri side. So right now, we're looking at this thing just about to cross over into that area. So this is how far we're looking at all these different tornado warnings all around the metro. This is the furthest south one. This is the one that we do have a spotter on. The spotter continues to see rotation, continues to see a tornado churning up there. In fact, we can take a look and see if we see anything. Possibly, let's take a look at this, see what we're seeing here. Not bad. 0.75, which means there could be a little bit of debris in the air around Worland once again. So this is a confirmed tornado for moving in from Lynn County into Bates County. This goes until 9 o'clock. So we've still got another 18 minutes with this particular storm. So please seek shelter now, calmly, quietly. Take your phone with you. Take something where you can continue to get our updates from you. We're going to go over to Corey now.
All right.
All right, let's take a look at it. Do we have a live picture from somewhere that we want to take a look at? Okay. So this is 69 southbound and 199th. This is the storm that's 199th. That would be southern Johnson County in Kansas, just south of Stillwell, pretty close to Lewisburg, and probably zoomed in so much that it's looking at the rain going sideways. It's hard to see. That's probably a car right there moving. Notice how the rain is going sideways. So even if outside of the tornado, the winds are still coming in so strong that this rain is going sideways at US 69 and 199th in southern Johnson County on the Kansas side. Corey?
All right, thank you, Mike. A lot of activity to talk about. I want to talk a little bit more about that general severe risk where you do see that orange box here, and that includes Johnson and through Miami County and areas to the southwestern portion of the KC Metro. So we do have that considerable tag, and what does that mean? Well, it means we could see up to 2 inches of hail. So we have so many threats on the board. Tornadoes, straight line winds as well that could cause damage, and hail. Amount of people affected by this severe thunderstorm warning, that's a considerable tag because mainly of that 2-inch hail and a tornado possible tag. We have to look out for that. It's through 9 o'clock. 150,000 people are affected. Again, Johnson and Miami County. Let's look a little bit more in detail what the threats could look like. Here's our hail tracker. This is a little bit old data, but it kind of shows you the history of what can be produced from some of these storms, right? Our hail tracker is looking at over an inch of hail in a lot of spots. And anytime you get over an inch of hail, that's when it can start to cause damage. Let's now jump over here to velocity and some straight line winds too. I mean, we're not just dealing with tornadoes that could cause damage, but straight line winds as well. And this is in the southeastern corner of Johnson County, just to the south of KC. We're talking about 65-mile-per-hour straight line winds along with that tornado threat. Send it back to you, Melissa.
Thanks, Corey. I do want to let you know, too, that just new as of about 2 minutes ago, 199th and Metcalf has confirmed 60-mile-per-hour winds. So Corey was just mentioning that 60 to 65 miles per hour. There has been confirmation there. Now we're going to move a little bit more towards the southern portion of this specific supercell, the portion that does have the tornado warning. Now I want to give you an update on the specific tornado warnings because we got 2 boxes on here right now. So if you are in kind of the Miami County western half, this is going to expire here in about 20 seconds. We are seeing the continuation of the tornado warning continuing into portions of the eastern side of Miami County and then eventually into Cass County, Missouri. So we're kind of crossing over the state line now. As you can see, it just disappeared. Now we're looking at that tornado warning for portions of the eastern side of Miami County and then into portions of Cass County as well. Likely starting to see that rotation just east of the state line. And so I'm going to zoom in, take a closer look at where we're looking, more likely towards the Cleveland area. It's getting a little bit more difficult to see, But if we kind of line up where we're looking at, kind of where that rotation would be, it would more likely just be maybe towards the south of Cleveland. So we're looking over here, likely crossing over near the state line right now at this time, south of Cleveland, moving towards West Line and the cross street of South State Route 0. So you need to be getting in your tornado safe place. This is radar indicated. This specific tornado has once again had a history of producing tornadoes that have been confirmed. So you need to be getting in your tornado safe space spot. And especially if you're near Cleveland, South State Road D. That does include you. Mike?
Yeah, spotters reporting a funnel cloud heading towards Worland, knocking on Worland right now. So we know we've got rotation. We know we've got something that could potentially come down, become a tornado, and start chewing ground once again. And it is right over Worland. So we're on the other side of the border. We're in Missouri now. You can see Highway 52 right there. Here's Worland. Here's the state border. And you can clearly see the hook, the inflow coming right here, the wraparound coming on the front side of it. And now it's just moving barely to the east of Worland. So this is where we're seeing the best rotation right now. And it's heading right here towards State Highway V. Okay, so it's south of 52. If you live in Amoret, just stay in your shelter for now. Stay there for the next 5-10 minutes. Make sure this thing does pass down to the south and stays south of Highway 52 and heads more towards State Highway V. One of the things we were looking at is you don't see a lot, not seeing much in the form of debris out of this one yet, which would coincide with the fact that it's a wall cloud. But here's a correlation coefficient, or the measurement, if you will, getting close to 1. So there may be a little debris in the air just to the east of Worland, where we're seeing the best rotation. You can see it right there heading off to the east. So let me put a track on this real quick. Just to give you an idea of where we're going with this. It does have a little bit of hail with it too. The hail is going to be closer to Virginia and Amoret, so watch out. This is a tornado warning. It's coming out of Linn County in Kansas, heading into Bates County in Missouri. To get your bearing, here's Interstate 49, if that helps. There's Butler. There's Adrian. So those are some of the bigger cities we talk about on a daily basis that are possibly in the path of this. Let's go ahead and run this thing. Let's try that again. And let's run this thing and see exactly where we're going with this particular storm. We'll head it just about there. All right, so Nyart, it's 8:48. You still got some time. Foster, yes, Foster, right now, you should be in your safe spot. Even if this thing travels just a mile north of you, it could turn, it could wobble. Just go ahead and Foster, be ready for that. Cornland School, if you know that area, if your kids go there or you've been there before, that area is under the gun also. Same thing with Monteith Junction, Star School, and Butler. Butler 9:10, so you've got a good 22 minutes before this storm could possibly be all the way over towards Interstate 49. So again, let me check real quick with the Weather Service. See, the last thing we heard from them, that it was reported of a funnel cloud near Worland and Bates, and that was just a few moments ago. Emergency manager passed along a report of a funnel cloud approaching Worland from a storm spotter. So we know that was back behind Worland. Now we're in Worland and we're moving on off to the east. So this thing could come down at any moment. Please be careful, be calm, and execute those safety rules. All right, where Melissa?
Yes, Mike, we're going to take a look at some video that we've got out of Lewisburg. Keep in mind, this is the tornado warned area. That's a portion of Miami and Cass County. As you can see, the supercell structure of this storm lighting up with the lightning itself, likely the leading edge of this, but you can maybe even see a little bit of that rotation happening, and more likely that wall cloud starting to build in. You can hear the tornado sirens in the background. Keep in mind that this was a confirmed tornado at one point. You can even see the anvil top all the way up towards the northern side of your screen, where you're starting to see that lightning come out. This is amazing video close to Highway 69 in Lewisburg that was sent into us. So this specific storm still in portions of Cass, or I should say in Miami County, moving into Cass County right now. But as you can see, that is the specific storm we're looking at. If there is any tornado that it has been developing, make sure that you are not, I know a lot of us maybe like to go outside and look. It could be rain wrapped. It is nighttime. It is going to be hard to see. You need to be getting in your tornado safe spot. So I want to get back to radar, track our radar. Looks like we are starting to lose maybe a little bit of that rotation and more of the kind of classic structure that we usually see when we see more of an inflow notch. It is starting to lose a little bit of that. So there is good news there, but this is likely crossed over into portions of the western side of Miami County, and we'll be getting closer to the eastern side. So as we kind of look at it, it is losing some of its structure. We could see the possibility of still some rotation that is mixed in there. I do think if we see that, that is just towards the southwest of Lake Lynette right now, east of Cleveland. It is going to be a little bit more difficult as we're getting close to our Pleasant Hill radar. So I may try to toggle on a few different radars to see if we can get better look at kind of where we're looking at possible rotation. But Lake Lynette, that could include you. You need to be getting in your tornado safe place as it gets a little bit more difficult as we get closer to this kind of radar site. The beam doesn't go out as high, kind of shoots just directly into this kind of farther down part, the lower part of the storm. So I do want to go ahead and likely track this where it is heading here over the next couple of minutes as we're looking kind of right in this realm for there to be some sort of rotation that is going to develop, so or could be developing right now. So keep in mind, we've got that tornado warning until 9:15. I want to make sure that I'm not missing any reports. It looks like the storm from Miami County appears to be behind the outflow of the leading storm, which would reduce the tornado potential with it. As I just mentioned, starting to lose a little bit of its structure, which is good news, lessening the tornado threat. However, that possibility is still there. We're likely looking kind of between Lake Lynette, this kind of Missouri 2, it looks like we've just updated to this tornado warning now does not include our counties to our west. Miami County, you are all clear right now. However, do know that there still is a severe thunderstorm that is in your area. But as we move towards the east, now we're going to focus on Cass County. So we are one county south of Jackson County, Missouri. We are looking at the potential of a tornado radar indicated rotation for that tornado warning that continues until 9:15. It is 8:52 right now. I want to get an update to see the current track still moving. Let's take a look. East at 35 miles per hour. So not only are we looking at radar indicated rotation, but also $half sized hail. We're looking at more of a tornado threat as well as a hail threat with this specific storm. So looks like 851 located over Lake Lynette or near Peculiar, moving east at 35 miles per hour. So as I mentioned, likely towards the Lake Lynette area south of Peculiar. As we kind of look here up towards the northwest, this is where the radar is. So it's going to get a little bit funky when we kind of try to take a look at what's currently happening. But that rotation likely just to the southwest of Lake Lynette. Lake Lynette, you need to be getting in your tornado safe spot. It's going to be lifting up around 35 miles per hour towards the east-northeast. It is a little bit more difficult when we're tracking the possibility of tornadoes. They don't always like to go in the direct location. So I do want to kind of let you know that there is the possibility that it could go a little bit more towards the northwest, as we have been seeing this kind of meander a little bit more east-northeast here over the last bit. But I am going to kind of track out Lake Lynette over towards the east around 35 miles per hour. So let me update this track time. Move it towards the east. We're talking later on down the line, Lake Lynette, of course, right now. You need to be in your tornado safe place. 9 p.m., Rockford School, get in your tornado safe place as well. And then 9:07, Brush College School. In between then, at 9:05, Rodman School. So we're looking kind of later on back towards the kind of cart so we can see it. I'm going to move it out a tiny bit. There we go. Rodman School and Brush College School, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place now. I want to get back over to Mike as he's also tracking a tornado warning that's down in Lynn County and down towards the south.
Yeah, it's in Bates now. And
Oh,
the
excuse me, sorry.
Yeah, it's moved across. That's good news. I'm glad you mentioned Lynn, because we can tell them you're good. You're all clear. You're fine. We've got at least 13,000 people without power right now, according to Evergy. So if you know people that are in the path of this, or make sure, especially with those two back-to-back, make sure you call them and tell them, or get a hold of them somehow in case they have lost power. So this is a new tornado warning, and this goes for Bates County. The storm right now is kind of sitting right on top of Foster, and it's going to head right towards Butler. So this is a new one. We've extended the tornado warning. It is radar indicated at this time. We do have storm spotters that have been out, have seen funnel clouds before out of this. It did produce a tornado a while back when it was in Kansas. So this has a history of dropping tornadoes. Just right now, we're looking more at a radar indicated. But either way, let's go ahead and let's get to that lowest floor in that most interior room, especially around Foster. And let's put a track on this one. All right, we're getting the latest update. So now it's starting to move just to the east of Foster, which is good news. Still, Foster, stay in your safe spot. You're not in the all clear yet. This thing's going to move right south of Butler. I mean, it's giving us some of the same places we looked at before. But if I'm in Butler and I see how close this is, I am going to go ahead and stay in my safe spot until this thing passes well to the east. Because you can see, if you just draw a line from this spot, this is supposed to be moving east, you can see it goes just right south of Butler. So Butler's one of the next areas, one of the bigger cities that could be in the way. Here's Cornland School. You can see it's heading right towards that at 9:03. So in about 6 minutes, this is heading towards that. It is right on Nyhart right now. It is on top of you. Please be in your safe spot. 9:04, we're looking at Monteith Junction, Miller School, and this will continue heading. Here's 49. Okay, Adrian, you know that one. There's Rich Hill. This is a new tornado warning, meaning we're seeing it on radar. We're possibly seeing quarter-size hail, so it's not the hail that's the big issue with this storm right now. It's that hook you're seeing and the possibility of it being a tornado. You can see the hail is just a very small spot, which is interesting that if this thing has a strong enough updraft for a tornado that has such a small area of hail, and the hail is just north of the tornado. So we'll keep an eye on that. If they get closer and closer, we may see this storm turn or change just a little bit or cycle. But right now, we're looking at just right near Foster to the east. That's where we have the latest tornado warning. It goes until 9:45. It is for Bates County. Melissa?
Good news is, Mike, they have just expired and canceled, I should say, the tornado warning that is in for portions of Cass County. But what we're looking at right now is I-49 northbound at Missouri Junction and Missouri C. You can see heavy rain is falling. There is a lot of lightning. Haven't seen much kind of wind being pushed. Looks like maybe we just lost a little bit of the data there. But the good news is that if you are in Miami County, the tornado warning has been canceled. We had mentioned that it's maybe losing a little bit more of its structure. It's being cut off from the kind of, flow of things. And that is what we have seen. So now we've got the severe thunderstorm warning that is in place. Let me kind of give a wider look, and then we'll get back to Mike for that tornado warning. So as you can see, we've got a very large area where we're watching just south of 435. Johnson, Miami counties, Cass County, southern portions of Jackson County, southeastern portions of our Johnson County, Kansas as well. We've got one large storm now that's trying to combine. So what we're looking at now is that we're watching for the potential of tornadoes, because tornado possible tags are on here. But we are going to continue to watch for some notching. But what we are really looking at now is more of a hail threat as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. Keep in mind, as I mentioned, Corey had said that there were some stronger wind gusts towards Metcalf 119th. We saw, 60-mile-per-hour confirmed winds. This specific new severe thunderstorm warning that does include portions of Cass, Jackson, Johnson, and Miami counties, that is going to go to 9:30. Keep in mind, it's almost 9 o'clock right now. Got about a minute till 9 o'clock. And that is going to be for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half-dollar-sized hail. So we'll come back to this storm. I want to send it back over to Mike because now we've got one lone tornado warning that we're tracking to the south.
Yeah, and it looks like I was just looking at the debris ball. The debris ball might have just moved over Nyhart. You could see the hook right there. Sometimes some of the products come out a little bit quicker than other products, but I was seeing a 0.98, and that is as close as you can get to 1, which is almost guaranteed that there's something in the air that's not a uniform structure. It's not round. It's not spherical. So in Nyhart, we need to be down in that safe spot. Look at this. And then we're heading over to some of these areas we've talked about before. Monteith Junction right there along 49. This is heading right towards you. It's only a couple of miles away. It's moving to the east at 30 miles per hour, and that's why we need to be careful. Let's take a look at where we're seeing the best spin out of this right now, and it looks to be just to the north of Nyhart. Somewhere around here is where we're seeing some of the better spin, just south of Highway 52, Missouri State Highway 52. Again, Monteith and Butler, you are in the crosshairs of this storm. It is coming towards you as we speak. Let's put this into motion just a little bit and get an idea of where it's been moving for a while now. And you can see it coming in, and yeah, it definitely had a little bit tighter rotation when it was over Worland, when we had spotters say that there was a funnel cloud out of that one. Now we're looking at still a pretty nice rotation, maybe not quite as tight, and that's why the debris tracker went down just a little bit from when it was over Nyhart just a little bit a minute ago. So this is what we're looking at. Let's load this up. Let's take a look at the hail just for a second. I just want to take a look at it because, again, hail can cause just as much damage. And the hail out of this particular storm, let's go over here. Actually, let's take a look at this one. And let's go out. Let's go back over. And there's the hail right there. So the good news is that is light blue. That is usually around an inch or less. We start to get into the purple. That's when we're worried about more damage. Let me go ahead and just look inside this storm, see what the algorithms say. So it's 1 inch hail. That's severe hail. Okay, that's quarter size. It may cause a little bit of damage in Virginia, but it's not the monster hail that we've seen out of this before, when it almost put out 1.5 to 2 inch hail. So there is that we have to contend with. So we're going to continue to watch this one. This is a tornado warning in for a long, long time. It is just now getting started in Bates County. So here is Bates County. You can see all this is Bates County. It's in the western third right now, heading towards Butler, Interstate 49. You know anybody that may be traveling on 49, this area, try to get a hold of them. Tell them to turn around, go back, wait for this storm to move out. There's our latest scan, and you can see that rotation getting just a little bit closer to Butler. Let's zoom in and see, if there's a city just south of Butler that it may be getting closer to. And that's the Monteith Junction that we've been talking about right there, where Missouri, let's see, that's Interstate 49 and that one. So, and right along Missouri 52. So please stay downstairs, stay inside. Remember, bathroom possible, blanket, anything to cover yourself. Melissa?
Thanks, Mike. We've got, let me move out of the way. Let me move out of the camera scene. So we've got right here, this is I-49 northbound at Missouri 7. Keep in mind, Mike was just talking about this specific storm. So this is down in Bates County, 945. We're going to watch to see if we could see a little bit of, the possibility of rotation, a funnel cloud or anything as kind of lightning lights up the sky. Mike is also looking here behind the camera. Not quite seeing much, possibly back towards the southwestern part of the screen, the right side of the screen, if we have the possibility to move it. Looks like I can maybe see a little bit of lowering back towards the southwestern side. So I-49, Missouri 7, keep in mind it's 9:04. You can see the storm moving. Obviously, we've been talking about supercell structure. This is kind of textbook. Let me see if I can find this on a map. We're looking at I-49, Missouri 7. Let me zoom in.
Yeah, it's near Monteith Junction.
Yeah.
You're getting close.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You're on it. Maybe a different radar
Let me try a different.
The Kansas City one's working fine right now, and it's going to give you a little bit better.
All right.
So yeah, this is moving away from Nyhart and heading towards Monteith Junction, and now it's flashing. So let's see what we've got going on. See what the Weather Service wants out of this one. Probably a new tornado warning remains in effect. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Butler, moving east at 30 miles per hour. So it's still a radar indicated. There's plenty of rotation. It's had a history of producing a funnel cloud. It's had a history of producing a tornado before. Yeah. We're looking at quarter-size hail. So again, it's this little hook right here that we want to keep an eye on. That's where we're going to get damage out of this particular storm that Melissa's really zooming in there with the velocities.
I'm going to zoom in down here. We're kind of looking. Here's a little bit of rotation also just back to the the west of Butler. Still seeing the flashing. Mike, you said still moving at the same speed?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's right on what Hill Street? So that's crossing 49 and heading over towards Hill Street.
Okay.
In Butler. So Butler, you're in the path of it right now.
Yep. Butler needs to be in your tornado safe place zone right now. It's going to be crossing over 49. Likely possibly has already crossed over 49, so you need to be in your tornado safe place. West Mill Street, East Mill Street, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place as well. Likely have already crossed 49 now at this point, and it's going to be heading towards West Mill Street, and the cross street that is just towards the kind of west of that. We are looking, let's see if I could get a zoomed in look at a little bit more cross street. Let me move it down a little bit further towards the south. So Butler, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place. Crossing 49, we're looking at eventually West Mill Street, closer to Northeast County Road 1003, Northeast County Road 4004. So going to be moving in this direction. It's moving around 30 miles an hour. Keep in mind, we only get a radar scan about every 5 minutes. So at some point, this is going to be a little bit further towards the east. So Butler needs to be getting in your tornado safe place. It looks to be tracking just northeast of State Route D and in between East Mill Street that eventually turns into West Mill Street on the kind of cross of that intersection. So we're looking at these two cross streets east of 49. We are in Bates County, Northeast State Road, and then down towards East Mills Street. This is where we're watching. I also want to kind of pull out and show you kind of the larger kind of specific storm here. Very, very heavy rain up towards Paola, back towards Butler. This is where we're watching. The hook of this, as it kind of inflows a little bit more, we're kind of watching right towards this specific area. Looks like they've got the camera moving a little bit. It's moving towards the southwest. As I kind of watch to see if I see anything here. Okay, they're trying to find it. I'm going to go back to tracking this. I'm going to keep an eye, of course, on the what would be the left side of your screen. Let me zoom back out. Where we're looking at is Monteith Junction up towards Butler. A whole lot of lightning happening in this vicinity. Keep in mind, it's 9:08 right now. The tornado warning continues until 9:45. I did want to put a kind of zoomed in look, a track on it specifically, so we can get a look of where this kind of rotation that we're watching is heading. Looks to be just now east of, kind of still close to that kind of 49 corridor, heading over towards Butler. So moving east around 30 miles an hour. I'm going to put a track on this as it moves out. Summit School around 9:19. It's 9:08 right now. So if you live near Summit School and the neighborhoods around Summit School, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. Butler needs to be in their tornado safe place right now as well, as we have been watching these storms, these tornadoes specifically, maybe take a little bit more of a northeastern back towards an eastern track. So we just got to be prepared in the kind of northeast east bounds of where we're seeing that rotation for where that potential for a radar indicated, tornado possibility rotation would be heading. So looks like we got a new radar scan. It's jumped ahead quite a bit. We get a little bit of a better couplet to track here. Now it's east of Butler and looks to be tracking along 9th Street. Mine Street? Mine Street. So Mine Street, south of Northeast State Route D. That's where we're seeing the rotation right now at this time. If we zoom in, Looks like there's not any more cross streets here. Later on down the line, this is going to intersect with northeast state route as well. So keep in mind, we're looking at this kind of track along this street and off towards the east. Mike, are you seeing anything I'm not seeing over there?
No,
Okay.
I'm seeing exactly what you're seeing.
Okay.
I'm just looking, it's about 3 miles east of Butler now, which is good news. But yeah, it's kind of an open area. I'm seeing the same thing you're seeing. And it's a do you see it kind of getting a little bit bigger?
Broader, yeah.
It's not quite as tight as it was before. It's not producing that big a hail right now, but it's still got the circulation. So I know the Weather Service is going to keep this going for a little bit longer. But I'm seeing the same thing exactly that you're seeing. You know, when you look at it from this vantage point, it looks like, yeah, it's just to the east of Butler,
Yep.
It's probably right in here. So we're looking at the heavy rain up north of it, not seeing a lot of hail out of this. So, you know, how strong is that updraft right now? It's strong enough that radar indicates that it could possibly produce a tornado, but we did have some storm chasers watching it, or actually some weather watchers watching it, not necessarily storm chasers, and they did see rotation at one time. But now just kind of looking at the Weather Service, and you know, they put out something about 6 minutes ago, so I know they're still looking at it, but you can still clearly see it's a classic supercell thunderstorm that's got all the attention and all of the energy out there because it's by itself. If you look up where you are right now, you know, that storm is a little bit different now. That's moving through the southern parts of the metro. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Keep watching this because this is the one that potentially has the tornado right now. It's just to the east of 49, moving through Bates County. This is the Bates County line. This is the end of the warning, so the Weather Service expects it to be at least over by this area by 9:45. So that's still about 34 minutes from now. So the slow-moving nature of these storms, if there is something on the ground, it is going to chew up a little bit more because it's moving only at 30 miles per hour. If it was moving faster, it may not chew up quite as much. But that's what we're looking at right now. Still looking at that area east of Butler. Let's see if we see much on here. I'm not seeing a lot on a debris tracker at this moment, so that may be some good news also. So once again, we've got this tornado warning for Bates County. It's the hottest storm out there right now. It's just south of the metro, so we're going to turn it over to Melissa so she can take a look at what else we're dealing with out there right now. Melissa?
Well, Mike, we've got the 2 severe or 3 technically severe thunderstorm warnings that are in place just south of the 435 loop. Our Corey is kind of breaking down what's going on there, has been watching these storms. So I'm going to send it over to Corey for some more information.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Melissa. So we were just talking about that tornado warning storm to the south. I'm going to talk about that severe warning storm to the north and look at this area of strong winds, radar indicated winds. So where are we right now? We're near Lee Summit, just to the south, near Greenwood. And just to get your bearings here, I'm going to zoom out. And here's where the wind is. Look at this. And it's winds that coming towards the radar. So let's see what's put on here. Yeah, 62 mile per hour winds, certainly severe parameter. And it's moving towards the radar. Here's the radar, so it's moving off to the east, generally speaking. Anything really over 60 miles per hour is severe, can cause some damage. I think we can get even some stronger points on here. Because I just saw 70. I saw 70 mile per hour, yep, 67 mile per hour, 73 mile per hour gusts. I mean, that can cause a lot of damage. So in a way, there's no tornado warning here, but you're in Greenwood. Treat it like a tornado warning. Get inside, get into your room. I mean, 70 mile per hour winds. It's not a tornado, but that's no joke, and it's spread out over a larger area, so that is moving quickly off to the east. We're talking just south of Lee Summit, along areas of Route 150 and the kind of where the maximum winds are, around 150 and Route 291 South Lee, moving towards Greenwood, Lake Winnebago. All those areas, very strong winds. You need to please be sheltered and almost treat it like a tornado warning. Send it back to you, Melissa.
Thanks, Here's a larger look once again at what we're looking at radar-wise. The activity has all been just south of the 435 loop and portions of our southern counties, as well as several tornado warnings and confirmed tornadoes we have had so far this evening over the past about 3 to 4 hours. So I'm going to go back into the storm that we're looking down towards the south. This is our one lone tornado warning now at this time for Bates County. We're still seeing classic structure of a supercell that is moving through Bates County. Right now it is 9:15. This continues until 9:45. So we're going to kind of go place by place where the rotation is, but I wanted to show you a lot of lightning still packing in this. Heavier rainfall towards the northern side of Bates County. We're watching that possibility of that radar rotation down towards the southern edge of where we're seeing a little bit more of that hook trying to develop. Now let me kind of reset and show you where we're looking at as we head more towards the south. It looks like radar rotation still east of Butler. This is what we're looking at right here. This little combo, a little bit of red and green. We're going to zoom in. It is east of Butler now, likely still on that west 223rd road, or excuse me, Mine Street. So East Mill Street turns into Mine Street. This is still tracking along Mine Street and will eventually be headed towards just south of Johnson. Looks like we got a new update in here too. Looks like maybe it's a little bit further towards the north. Looks like it took more of a northeasterly track with this latest scan. As I'd mentioned, Mike and I have been kind of seeing a little bit of that east-northeast kind of toggle with these tornadoes that we are watching for that kind of rotation. Right now, that's in between Northeast State Route D and Mine Street. This is where we're looking at right now, in between. If you live in between these streets in Bates County, Northeast Street Route D and Mine Street, we're east of Butler, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place zone. As we look later on down the line, as we just got a latest scan, this is eventually going to be moving towards Mine Street, Northeast Route. Also, that's where it's going to be headed. Northeast State Route 88, as I had mentioned, we're looking at these kind of cross streets in this kind of square. So eventually crossing to Mine Street, Northeast State Route 88 as well. Looks like we just got an update for this tornado warning.
Just came out.
A severe thunderstorm capable 7 miles east of Butler. It's moving a lot faster now, 45 miles per hour.
Okay.
So it's picking up some speed.
That means you have less time to react and less time to get to your safe space in those areas. If you want to take a look at that, I'll put a track on it real quick.
Go ahead.
And that way we can take a look.
So now Butler is exited, or not exited out. Butler is no longer included in this. So Butler, you are given the all clear. Where we're looking at is 7 miles east of Butler, which is just kind of north of that Mine Street, as I had mentioned. Going to be crossing over Northeast State Route 88. It is going to be moving towards Johnstown as well. Johnstown. Mike, did you say you were going to put a track on it?
Yeah, I'm working on it. It's hitting a lot of open area right now.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to work around that and trying to find something that maybe a little bit, you could see it's not showing up much. So there's something wrong. There's something that I need to fix with the tracker, but it is moving to the east at 45. There's your newest scan. So let me see if I can get this off there. Let me go away from this for just 1 second.
If you want to send it back to me while Mike.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So still, once again, setting the stage. Here we are, south of the metro, Bates County, 9:45 p.m. The tornado warning continues until it is 9:18 now. We see a classic supercell structure. We have seen this structure for several now hours at this point. So we have today had a low probability, high impact event. This is exactly what we have seen play out this evening. And as we zoom in to where we're looking at the possibility of that radar indicated rotation, we are now just in between those two cross streets. As I mentioned, you can see the rotation. It is right here in this kind of vicinity. This is where we're looking at right there for that radar indicated rotation. And as I zoom in, I'm going to get really close, so bear with me. It's now still in between Northeast State Route D and Mine Street. That's where it's in between. These two streets, if you live in Bates County and you live in between Mine Street and Northeast State Route, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. This has likely already moved a little bit further towards the east, so getting probably closer to State Highway H, the intersection of State Highway H and Northeast State Route 88D. You need to be getting in your tornado safe place right now. Mike, can I send it over to you?
Yeah. This is getting really close to Henry County. Here's the Henry County border. And so you can see we're getting closer and closer. And a lot of these cities that are pulling up right now on our track are mainly over in Henry County, the Montrose at 934, the Montrose School at 934, Franklin School 940, Ladue 943. So these are quite a way from this, and they're in another county. So we're going to see if the Weather Service does issue a new one eventually for Henry County. But right now, all action is in Bates County, that tornado warning until 9:45. So we still have another 25 minutes. But as Melissa mentioned, this has picked up some speed. It is now moving at 45 miles per hour as it heads off to still just pretty much due east along this track where she showed you. So what we're looking at, trying to find it, we don't see much in the debris tracker. We're looking for an area where that number would be closer to 1 than anything else, and trying to find it. And we see that's not the greatest one, but that's kind of where we would see any debris if there was anything up there. So right now, you always treat it as that it's something on the ground and that it's chewing and coming your way with this particular storm that moves off to the east. So this tornado, this has had a history of producing a tornado. It's produced funnel clouds. It's showing rotation. It's been showing rotation. It's the strongest storm out there right now. That's why it has our attention and why we keep following this one more than anything else. So we're kind of looking out here north of Highway 52. Melissa did a good job of showing you some of those cross streets out there because it is kind of in a rural area right now with a lot of 2-lane roads, probably a lot of trees. So if the winds are blowing, some of those trees may be falling onto the roads. So we just want to stay out of the Northeast State Route D. We want to stay away from, Northeast State Route BB, Ballard. You are getting close to this, so you may want to go ahead and head downstairs or head into the lowest floor interior room. If you live in a manufactured home and you live in the path of this, you may want to find the shelter if your area has one. If not, you've got to stay inside or even go outside and get in a ditch would be a little bit better than staying in your manufactured home. Melissa?
Thank you, Mike. I wanted to update you too on the likely continuation of this storm moving off towards the east. The tornado warning continues until 9:45. That is for Bates County. For those that are highlighted in yellow, now we're looking at a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. That will continue down, of course, the line for those getting the rain and thunderstorm activity right now. That continues until 10 p.m. Bates, Henry, Johnson counties are included in this. That's going to be the southeastern portion of Johnson County, likely towards Leeton. And let me move out of the way. Windsor would kind of be on the edge. Tornado possible. It continues until 10 p.m. We're looking at the potential of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. So we'll see what they do as we continue to track the tornado warning. But know that the parent storm itself does have that severe thunderstorm warning that is on it. So we are also watching that potential, of course, for strong winds and quarter-sized hail. I want to zoom back in to see where we're looking at for where that kind of radar indicated rotation is. Likely just west of Johnstown, still kind of going to be crossing over to the Northeast State Route 88 is where we're looking at. Still in between Northeast State Route D and what is going to turn into State Highway H. This is where we're looking at for the rotation right now. So if you live on Northeast State Route 88, you need to be in your tornado safe place zone. We're watching this as it's going to continue to move very quickly, as I mentioned, to the northeast. So Johnstown, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place. We're right here on the edge. And if you live in between Northeast State Route 88 and State Highway H, you need to be getting in your tornado safe place as well, including the intersection of Northeast State Route D and Northeast State Route 88. So right here in this corridor is where we're looking at for for the possible rotation to be moving into your area. Keep in mind this red polygon, this is where the tornado warning ends. So because it's picked up a little bit of speed, moving around 45 miles an hour, it's likely going to be moving here east towards Johnstown here pretty shortly, if it isn't already east of Northeast State Route 88D. But know that it then turns into a severe thunderstorm warning that has the tornado possible tag. That continues until 10 p.m. I think Mike is tracking also the possibility of some hail. Can I send it over to Mike?
Sure. Yeah. What we'd like to do is take a look at a different part of the storm while you're analyzing that. I'm going to be analyzing this, and the hail, you can see it's estimated at about 1.1. So that is severe. That's a little bit bigger than a quarter. Could cause damage, not necessarily widespread damage. And you can see it is well east of Butler, well south of Ballard right now. It is heading towards Johnstown. So be ready for some hail. Bring stuff in if you live in Johnstown. Maybe cover it if you can. Let me show you over the past hour or so, you can watch this continue to produce some pretty big hail, but thankfully it hasn't been any bigger than maybe an inch and a half. So we haven't heard of a lot of reports of damage from this. In fact, not much at all as it continues to move through Bates County. But yeah, we're seeing a little bit of hail in this right now. Anytime it's producing hail, it has that nice rotation in it. It could produce a tornado. So that's what we're going to continue to watch as far as this goes. Was trying to see if there was some straight line winds coming out of this. Just looking at what's happening just north of Appleton City there in Montrose, you can see there could be some gusty winds coming also right where you're seeing some of the brighter green areas just to the south of where the rotation is. So that could be some of the outflow or some of the winds blowing there. So those could be some of the straight 60-mile-per-hour winds that we may see out of this storm. But the good news, as you mentioned, the tornado warning becoming a severe thunderstorm warning, that is a good trend. Melissa?
They just canceled the tornado warning. So there is now tornado possible for portions of Bates, Henry, and Johnson. So we are going to continue to watch these little structures that we've been seeing. If you've been watching for a while, this is basic textbook supercell tornado development that we have seen this evening. These structures still have a little bit of a tail, still have a little bit of a hook, if you are familiar with any kind of terminology. These are what we're going to be watching, the kind of hooked areas, to see if we start to see any radar indicated rotations start to pick back up again. But I want to do a wide look once again to show you what's going on out there. Now, there are no tornado warnings. However, we are going to continue to track tornado possible severe thunderstorm warnings, as well as considerable tags for a severe thunderstorm warning too. If you are in the Kansas City metro, you live in the 435 loop, these storms are just south of the 435 loop and south of I-70. We've got some light rain that's trying to develop towards Lexington, north of Marshall. This is not severe. What the severe activity is down towards the southwest. So we're going to continue to track these storms. We go back down. We'll kind of look at what's going on. As I mentioned, there are no more tornado warnings that are still in place in the Kansas City area, in our area that we're watching. Now we're watching for possible tornado development, but we are going to continue to track these storms as they have been moving between about 25 to even 45 miles per hour. But the storm that is still the strongest right now, especially in structure, that is back towards our southeastern counties, headed towards Clinton. We still got several severe thunderstorm warnings that are in place. However, the storm that's down towards the southeast that we had mentioned that has the possibility for a tornado possible tag on it, we're going to continue to watch. But as we go forward, we're kind of going to go place by place, talk about what specific severe thunderstorm warnings there are. As I mentioned, the one that's down towards the southwest, here moving into portions of Henry County here shortly, the eastern sides of Bates, that's going to continue until 10 p.m. That is the newest severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado possible tag. Mike?
Yeah, we've got one a little bit closer to the metro. You can see Pleasant Hill right here, Lee Summit. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning. It has a considerable tag because it may have 70-mile-per-hour winds. That means a heightened probability of damage out of this as it's moving off to the east. It's moving off to the east at about 40 miles per hour and possibly laying down 70 mile per hour winds out ahead of it. Let's see if we can turn over to the velocity and see exactly where we're seeing some of the strongest winds out of this particular one. And we're looking at some really, looking around Strasburg, Kingsville, over towards Holden. Let's see what they're talking about here. Considerable tree damage is possible. The severe thunderstorm is located along a line extending from near Lone Jack to near Holden to near Kingville. That whole area I just mentioned, that's where we're seeing. Let's query this just a little bit, see what some of these are showing as far as some of the winds out there. I got to take the warnings off. Sorry about that. Let's get the warning off there. And there you can see 62 mile per hour winds heading towards Kingville. That's what the radar is estimating. Let's go up a little bit farther north and take a look at what some of this is looking at. 70 mile per hour winds moving just south of Highway 50 right now, one of the areas, the highways that we take over to the Ozarks. So you can see the leading edge of this, which is moving from Kingville to Holden. That's where we're seeing some of the strongest winds right now. So if you live in Centerview, you want to get downstairs. 70 mile per hour winds are nothing to take lightly. They are very strong. It's a weak tornado. It can produce that kind of damage. So a lot of gusty winds up here, moving away from the metro, thankfully, but still something we have to consider and keep an eye on. And Corey, what are you looking at right now?
Yeah, hey, Mike, we're talking about power outages now. A lot of them there off to the south and west of Kansas City, in Bates as well, or I should say Miami, Franklin, Douglas, and Johnson counties off to the southwest. We're now up to 16,000 customers out. And where that shading is, that's a higher density of some power outages. So really looking at around Ottawa, where we did have that confirmed tornado and confirmed power outage. That's a big hotspot, unfortunately, for power outages there. And a lot there, mainly in the southwest of the city. Not really seeing too much near the city center, just a little bit. It's mainly confined to areas to the south and west. We can go to radar as well here as we're kind of now tracking out some pretty impressive looking storms that are mainly, again, still to the south of Kansas City. This is the one Mike was touching on. It's got a considerable tag, 70 mile per hour winds, really pushing off quick to the east, just to the south of I-70. Again, pushing off to the east. And this right here would be along Route 50. That's kind of where it's tracking out. And, I mean, we can look at a report there. I believe we do have a report from that system. It's a little bit old data. Okay, now we have a damage report from it. Let's take a look. This one, I believe, is 62, if my memory serves me right here, where that core of wind just went over. So now we don't just have those on radar, or I should say on radar estimated winds of 70 miles per hour. We have confirmed 62 mile per hour winds, and that has caused some damage as well. I'm going to go to that here right now. Let's see what that kind of damage report looks like. This is new to me. Reported a tree down, time estimated from radar from thunderstorm wind damage. Now, where is that? That's in Raymore here. We can go a little bit more in depth of where exactly that report is. Just south of Route 150 there, Raymore, just north of East 155th Street. And just kind of get your bearings. I'm going to zoom it out here. You can see this is south of, in the southeastern part of the KC Metro. And I'm going to send it back to Melissa.
Thanks, Corey. We are going to take a look, too. I do know that our Betsy Webster is out in the First Warn 5 weather tracker. She's been out towards Spring Hill. Maybe we'll get to her here in just a second. I can hear the sound in the background, but however, haven't quite. There we go. Here's a look at Spring Hill. Betsy, can I toss it over to you?
Yeah, sure can. We actually just passed Spring Hill. We're on 169 South, and we're heading now to Hillsdale because we heard there was some damage there, and we were going to go survey that. I can tell you, we just drove through some very, very heavy rain. We could hear hail hitting our vehicle, and as you can see, it is very dark on the highway. There are no lights. Here's that rain getting heavier again, and a lot of electricity in the sky. We just saw a car pulled over into the shoulder. We had to move into the left lane because of that. That is one of the dangers we're starting to experience here on the roadway. There is such heavy rain and hail that there you go. You see it up ahead of us. People have their blinkers on. They're pulling off. Oh, here's that thing. Markel, you and I talked about this. People stopped under an overpass, both sides of the road. Everybody is stopped under this overpass. That caused a bottleneck in traffic. and that was a danger. We are driving 40 miles an hour, actually right now 35 miles an hour on a 70-mile-an-hour road. That is how significant the rainfall and the visibility issues are. It is essential that we keep those speeds that low because we run it, first of all, the visibility, but secondly, as you saw, these are the things that happen here when you have other people on the road and then they decide to slow down suddenly, they decide to pull over suddenly. Things will come up on you without a moment's notice. I'm going to get quiet for a second so you can listen to this hail coming down. It is hard to see it, but you can hear it. Can you guys hear it back there?
Yep. We're going to take a look too. Where exactly, you said you were moving east now, out of Spring Hill?
No, we are actually south.
South of Spring Hill.
We just went south of the Hillsdale exit, so we are approaching 255th Street.
255th Street. All right. I see where you're at. So, we can pull up our
and once we get to 255th, our plan is to go west onto Hillsdale to check out that damage, but we wanted to pop in so you could see what those road conditions are with that hail coming down. Kenny is pointing ahead to something more. People pulled under an overpass again.
Thank you, Betsy. Here's a look too at radar where Betsy currently is situated. We're south of Spring Hill. This is west 255th Street on 169. We had mentioned that there's the possibility that she's seeing some hail, a lot of lightning, heavy rainfall. This is where we're seeing that darker red. So know if you're south of Spring Hill, west 255th Street, back towards Flagstaff, over towards West 24th or 247th Street, seeing heavy rain right now. She had mentioned we can hear some of that hail. I'm going to see if we could put on our hail tracker to see if we've got any hail. There is no severe thunderstorm warning in this specific spot right now, but you could see starting to indicate a little bit more stronger rain just east towards Wagstaff. So I did want to put on a little bit of our hail tracker here just in case to see if we could see anything. Not looking like it is picking up, maybe very light, just west 255th Street, kind of right here, this lighter blue color. So maybe some small hail possible out there. But no, there is no severe thunderstorm warning. But if you are in Wagstaff, Chiles, south of Spring Hill, know that you may see a little bit of some small hail trying to develop. We now have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings of different calibers now left over in the area. Still continuing on for our southeastern areas. This is the tornado possible tag and the considerable tag. That's for portions of just south of the I-70 corridor. So we're going to continue to track these 2. We're watching the structure of the storm down towards the south, back towards Appleton City, and then east towards Clinton and Deepwater for that tornado potential. And what we're seeing now in this kind of white box, that would be the considerable tag that we are watching for strong winds as well as hail. And keep in mind, this is where our radar is in Pleasant Hill. So the radar beam is shooting out way lower. So this is why it's looking a little bit funky. So know that this is where the radar is and it's shooting out the beams at a lower angle. So we're not kind of getting a full look at the storm. But the severe thunderstorm warning has the considerable tag that continues until 9:45. Cass, Jackson, Johnson, Lafayette counties are included in this. It's still moving a little bit quickly, 40 miles per hour. 70-mile-per-hour winds is what this is warned for, and it is radar indicated. So once again, we're looking at that wind threat, straight line wind threat, starting to move through portions of this specific area. Once again, it's going to be a little bit funky as we kind of go street by street because this is where the radar is, not getting the full scan of the atmosphere. So it may look a little bit different. It may be a little bit more challenging to kind of find where the strongest winds are trying to develop, but we're going to try to do so. As we zoom in, looks like it's on the leading edge. Starting to see more of those oranges popping up. As we kind of look at this kind of line, you can see oranges developing around 50 highway. Looks like they're issuing a new kind of severe thunderstorm warning to continue on with it, as the leading edge is likely picking up some very strong winds. 70-mile-per-hour winds is what this is warned for. Let me take off our watches and warnings to be able to click on the specifics here for you. Just south of Odessa, trying to pick up around 38 miles per hour, so maybe not as impressive here in that specific area, but closer to around 57 miles per hour. I'm going to zoom in to where kind of the leading edge is pretty much strongest, east of Pittsville, kind of along Highway 50. South of Pittsville looks like could pick up winds of anywhere between 60 to 65 miles per hour, crossing over Highway 50. Just towards the east, we're looking at kind of 60 mile per hour winds. So in this zone, that's where we're looking at for the strong winds starting to move into Centerview. We'll then eventually move into Fayetteville and Warrensburg. So I am going to put a track on this. As you continue to see, the front leading half of this is where we're seeing the strongest winds, likely just past the kind of front of the storm and then into kind of this darker kind of yellow color that we're starting to see. So I am going to put a track on the leading edge so we can get a kind of closer look of where these strong winds are likely going to be headed next, but they're going to be moving into Warrensburg here pretty shortly. I'm going to double check to see how quickly this is moving here. These were moving 30 to 45 miles per hour. Let's take a look. Looks around. Okay, moving east at 50 miles per hour. So it has picked up speed once again. If I zoom out, you can see where that kind of strongest wind still setting up Odessa all the way to Centerview and down towards Holden. So 50 miles per hour, it's moving fast. Going to be in Warrensburg. Those strong winds are going to move to you here first in probably just a few minutes or so, or is already there. So I'm going to draw our kind of different straight line winds tracker. This is very large. I'll move it off towards the east. Warrensburg, it's 940 right now. 943, Warrensburg starting to pick up on those strong winds. Western Missouri Medical Center, 944. Keep in mind, it is 940 right now. So winds are going to start to pick up here pretty shortly in the matter of just a few minutes. Dawson School, 949. Adams School, 950. Knob Noster, closer to around 955. And the Whiteman Air Force Base, that is 956. We are seeing the possibility of some very strong winds. I'm going to look once again to see if we've got any kind of radar, any reports that have come out for any of these winds. But right now, the strongest kind of considerable storm is for those 70 mile per hour winds. If we're seeing those, it's Odessa down to Centerview, and then maybe starting to see some weakening winds down towards Chillicothe. But we are looking at these 2 severe thunderstorm warnings and now 3 because they've issued the one that extends out towards the east from that specific severe thunderstorm warning. So these are the 2 we're continuing to watch. The one down towards the south has got that tornado possible tag. I'm going to send it over to Mike to look at that one.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on that one. It's right over Montrose right now, the best of the turning of the winds, but it's a very broad circulation right now. The reason it still has a tornado possible on it is because this has had a history of producing a tornado, a funnel cloud, rotation in the wall cloud, all of those things that you look for. And we haven't seen anything or heard anything of an actual funnel cloud reaching the ground and becoming a tornado, but they're keeping an eye on that because that's what it's had. So far, we're just kind of dissecting this. And you can see how broad the circulation is becoming as we're going away from the radar here, toward the radar, and away from the radar, which is up here. So the bigger the circulation is, the less likely it's going to produce a tornado. And even more so, the broader the circulation is, the hail size has actually been kind of dropping also. Just trying to look at the current hail size, and you can see the hail size is falling apart. Now, the latest radar is showing blue back there, which is about 1 inch. Now it's showing barely any hail out of this particular system. So hopefully that's a weakening trend that we will continue to see moving forward. But we still have a severe thunderstorm warning for Henry and Johnson County. This is Henry County here. This is Johnson County right there where Leeton and Windsor kind of where they come together. That's Johnson County. This is Henry County where the bulk of the storm is, and Montrose is where it is. And you can see just a little bit of hail out of this storm, a little bit of rotation. Thankfully, this thing has calmed down considerably from where it was earlier today, Melissa.
Mike, we're looking at 2 in the storm that's to the north. Strong winds. It's that considerable tag that we're watching. 70 mile per hour winds. I am going to send it over to Corey briefly because he's going to talk about kind of what damage could come with winds as I set up a track on this specific considerable severe thunderstorm warning right now. Corey?
It seems to be transitioning a little bit more to a wind threat, a severe wind threat. And what are we talking about? Severe winds? Were anything over this threshold and down. So large trees can be uprooted. Again, we had that report of a large tree that was uprooted in the south of the KC metro. Mobile homes overturned. We're talking siding can be damaged, roofs can be damaged, mobile homes, like I said, and obviously, right, we're past that threshold where trucks can be overturned and power lines can be damaged. So those are all the threats with those straight line winds. Although we don't have any tornado warnings right now, you need to take the straight line wind threat very seriously.
Thanks, Corey. Looking at that specific storm, we're looking at that straight line wind possibility. It is now crossing over into where that kind of new severe thunderstorm warning is in place. Centerview likely seeing strong winds right now heading over towards Warrensburg. So this specific warning that is going to be also for some strong winds as well as small hail, but more likely wind. So if I kind of update you there, it's going to continue until 10:30. We're looking at Johnson, Lafayette, Pettis, and Saline counties. That continues until 10:30. Right now it is 9:45. It is still for 60-mile-per-hour winds. So it looks like the considerable tag has been taken off. So that is good news there. Winds are not as potent, not as strong. They were possibly radar indicated at 70 miles per hour. Now they're at 60 miles per hour for a possibility. So where we're looking at the strongest winds is going to be just kind of crossing over Warrensburg, just heading towards Higginsville. Keep in mind, this is, moving pretty quickly around 50 miles per hour. So eventually, keep in mind, it's 9:46 right now, 9:45 right now, 9:46 Mayview. That is going to be moving into your area here in probably around 30 seconds or so. Strong winds starting to take over. Higginsville around 9:54. Knob Noster closer to around 9:55. So here in about 10 minutes or so, those strong winds are going to start to pick up. Lamont, Sweet Springs getting closer to around 10:07. 10:05, and then that's going to take us to the end of the severe thunderstorm warning. But the good news is it is not a considerable tag anymore, so not looking as strong and potent and damaging winds, but still, as Corey had just mentioned, 60-mile-per-hour winds can do some damage, but as I mentioned, better than 70-mile-per-hour winds. So we're moving in the right direction as this storm weakening a little bit, and this is the storm itself that we're looking at. You can see it's just this kind of line of storms from Odessa back towards Warrensburg. This is going to continue to lift off towards the east. But keep in mind, the radar is in Pleasant Hill. So this is not fully giving the best representation of what this specific storm looks like, because the radar beam in Pleasant Hill is not going as far and is not measuring, the entirety of that storm as it could, because the radar beam is a little bit lower to the ground. So keep that in mind. But heavy rain along that leading edge, as well as the potential for some very strong winds of 60 miles an hour. It has decreased from 70 miles per hour to 60 miles per hour. Now, just to the south, there also is a storm we're watching. The structure of the storm is a classic supercell. I'm going to send it over to Mike if I can. Are you looking at the storm down towards our south? Yeah.
Yeah, Corey just pointed something out to me that I wanted to point out to you. This is Mayview up to the north. Look at that velocity, 79 miles per hour. Now, granted, the radar beam's a little bit higher here, so it could be seeing a little bit more in the way of mid-level winds, but still, you're looking at a velocity of nearly 80 miles per hour. And even if it's in the middle parts of the atmosphere, if it's raining heavily enough, it'll grab that wind and it'll shove it down into the ground, and that will create that fast wind. So, east of 131, Missouri Highway 131, north of 70. Here's Odessa to give you an idea. Here's 24. There's the river. There's Lexington. So heading towards Mayview, we possibly have a very gusty outflow out of this particular storm that could be pushing up to about 80 miles per hour. So I just wanted to make sure we took a look at that after Corey pointed it out towards me. Thank you, Corey. That particular storm. But as far as the Weather Service, they aren't seeing anything or saying that they may issue a warning for that one. We do have a new mesoscale discussion if someone wants to take a look at that concerning our tornado watch. It's saying the earlier supercells have undergone cell iterations and modest upscale growth into a cluster with more expansive cold pool outflow, which is what we're seeing. The Henry County is the discrete supercell right now, but it's being absorbed and we're not seeing a lot. We're going to keep going for another few hours while this line spreads to the east. So they're slowly breaking off the counties to the west, but this says an isolated brief tornado will still be possible with embedded circulations along the leading edge of the cold pool. So they're going to keep the tornado watch going as they move forward, but they have definitely, as Melissa is going to show you, taken some counties out. So let's get the good news there, Melissa. Show the people that can breathe a sigh of relief right now.
Yeah, our western counties have been taken out of that tornado watch. So places like our Franklin County down towards Garnett have been taken out as well. So really what we're left with now is just east. We're talking about Henry County as well as portions of our metro county still included in this. I'm likely expecting this to be dropped as we see those storms down to the south and the southern portions of the 435 loop to be moved out of the area, which would be here probably more shortly. This is what radar looks like right now. I know we've been so zoomed in on some of these storms that overall, this is the wide picture. The metro, the 435 loop, all clear right now. We are not expecting really to see any additional development right now, at least on the west side. That's why they pulled away the tornado watch. But no, that's still rain and thunderstorm activity south of Belton, crossing over I-49. And these are the two storms that we're watching that are still the strongest in portions of the eastern side, or I should say the southern. Let me try this again. The northern storm that we're watching has more of that wind threat, tornado possible tag down towards Henry County as we were continuing to see kind of classic supercell structure that is in place. So as we look at this specific storm, the one that is now just a regular base severe thunderstorm warning comparatively to when it was a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-per-hour winds are possible. That continues until 10:30. This is still moving very quickly at 50 miles an hour. We're looking at the potential for some winds to pick up. We've seen that happen. We haven't seen really any reports come in here with this specific severe thunderstorm warning, but looks like we're just getting a latest scan in here. Still, it looks like just north of where the warning is in Mayview is where we're seeing kind of stronger winds right now.
Yeah, that's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, 76 miles per hour is the velocity. So Mayview likely getting some very strong winds. Looks like the National Weather Service picking up on that as well. They are now adding a severe thunderstorm warning towards the north.
Okay, I've got a track on it if you want to come over to me real quick.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so here's the track on it. It's sitting right on top of Mayview right now. It's pushed through Odessa. So Long Grove School, you're next in line for these 70, maybe even faster gusts out of this. 9:56. Right now we're at 9:52, so about 4 minutes. If you can bring anything inside, lock stuff down. It may be too late in Long Grove School. Page City may be too late right now. Just stay away from windows, kind of congregate like you would with a tornado warning into the middle of the house, and because even debris moving at 70 miles per hour, that can cause some serious injuries if it can come through maybe an outside wall, and that's why we want you to put more walls between it. But this is going to continue moving, racing off to the northeast a little bit more. If you just kind of watch it move from south of 70 and then right across Odessa, and now heading up towards Waverly at 10:14 and Grand Pass at 10:19, if it contains this momentum. Sometimes these are short-lived, but you said that the Weather Service was looking at putting out a severe thunderstorm warning for this one. I'd be interested to know how long they are going to keep this one out. It's for Carroll, Lafayette, Ray, and Saline, and so it's until 10:30. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That's interesting because you can see there's definitely faster winds, at least according to the radar, a little higher in this storm. So that's definitely something we're going to keep an eye on. So, Melissa?
Yeah, and kind of taking a wider look, Mike had zoomed in on that specific spot where we're seeing the strongest winds right now. That is up towards the northern side of the severe thunderstorm warning. So even down towards Warrensburg, still continuing in that severe thunderstorm warning. But no, that is not quite as strong winds, but still strong winds can be embedded in this kind of leading edge of the line. Let me take off the radar very quickly. Oh, not the radar. I should say our watches and warnings underneath it, so I can click on more specific things. So it looks like kind of the pockets of some stronger winds, 50 to 60 miles an hour, which is kind of not obviously as strong as what we're seeing up towards the north, but still the potential to be damaging. So what we're going to do, still 50 miles an hour. This is how quickly this is going. It's moving very quick. We put a track on it. We're moving it towards the east. And so right now it is 9:53. At 9:56, so in 3 minutes, Bristol Ridge, strong winds are going to be moving into your area. Higginsville around 9:57, so in about 3 minutes or so. Knob Noster going to be later on the list, a few minutes later, around 10:01. So keep in mind it's 9:54 right now. Sweet Springs closer to around 10:12, and then Sedalia around 10:23. That's going to be way in the far southwestern edge of your screen. That's going to be towards the end of the warning. But these storms have kind of picked up a little bit more speed here lately. They first started at going at 25 miles per hour. Now we're at 50. So we've got quicker motion. We've got the potential for some stronger winds to develop in here. Keep in mind, we've got those 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that are for the same kind of wind potential. And then we've got the storm that's down towards the south in portions of Henry County, where we're watching once again for that potential for tornado possible too. So that's kind of where we're looking at as we get our bearings. It's east of the metro, still some rain and storms down towards the south, but those are not severe. Mike?
Yeah, we still have some storms back where we had them before. The white is good. That means it's just a special weather statement. It means that we're not expecting severe out of this Lewisburg storm that's heading over towards Harrisonville. Here's the latest update. Let's get it there. And you can see it's just to the east of Lewisburg. It's got a little bit of hail in it. Still watching the storm sitting right on Clinton right now and heading towards Deepwater. This one is severe, has had a history of producing a tornado when it was on the Kansas side, had a funnel as it moved over into the Missouri side. Haven't seen any reports of that coming out of this, but because it had that history and it is a supercell still, even though it's losing a little bit of its textbook look, that severe thunderstorm warning is going to go for another 4 or 5 minutes here up until 10 o'clock. And then we'll kind of keep all of our attention on this with that bowing. You can see the bow right there from Higginsville to Warrensburg, the faster winds that are pushing out that flank, and possibly 60-mile-per-hour winds, as Corey showed you, that can uproot some trees. It can knock some bigger limbs out of some trees, and that gets caught up in the wind, and then that becomes debris, and that can cause some damage. So those are some of the things we're watching out of those 2 storms as they move away from the metro and start heading into central Missouri. Let me turn off this watch warning thing and just kind of give you an idea of what has happened over the last hour or so. And you can just watch these storms just move right across the southern part of the metro, move across Adrian and those areas, and just continue to rake those areas with fast winds and the possibility of some heavy rain. We haven't talked about flooding yet, but some storms are moving over the same area again and again. So that's something that we're going to keep an eye on also, especially those storms back near Lewisburg. I just wanted to take a quick look at the hail tracker. We've been watching this because this is also one of the indications of just how strong the storm is. When you start to see the darker blue, you see the purple, that's the bigger hail. Okay, we're seeing definitely a trend where this thing is not producing as much hail as it's moving towards Clinton and Deepwater. So that is some good news right there. And power flash, I'm looking at southwest time. Ooh, okay. Lone Jack.
Out east, yeah.
Out east. We're looking at some power flashes around Lone Jack earlier today. So that was probably one of those gusts of straight line winds, Melissa.
Yeah, we were watching the potential for 60 to 70 mile per hour strong straight line wind gusts as we're more kind of transitioning from the potential for tornadoes to now more of that kind of straight line wind threat. There is one that we're still watching as a tornado possible tag, but we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning that's gone into effect that includes Cass and Miami counties. It's the eastern side of Miami County, so primarily Cass County. It continues until 10:30. Keep in mind it's just a few minutes now before 10 p.m. p.m. It's 9:58. So we're looking at this specific area for a new severe thunderstorm warning. This one is moving a little bit slower than it has been, around 30 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail are possible with that storm. The hail core is going to be back towards Cleveland, heading towards Westline, and eventually later on the line, Lake Annette. So we have seen once again this specific area now, and really particularly just south of Metro, south of 435, kind of be raked over by a few different kind of tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. So we have talked about Lake Annette, and Cleveland here earlier with a tornado warning, but seeing some pockets of heavy rainfall towards Cleveland, likely back towards the western part of the storm is where we're seeing the possibility for some quarter-sized hail. We are going to kind of watch these storms still as they progress to the east, but just kind of setting you up, it is now primarily towards the east-southeast of the metro. These have grown, of course, upscale here in the last several hours. Today was kind of a low probability, high impact event. If the cap broke, there were such strong ingredients out there that storms were going to fire up quickly and be supercellular, and that is exactly what we have seen today. We had several tornado warnings, several confirmed tornadoes that tracked along the southern portions of the metro and south of the 435 loop. But now we're still watching this storm in Henry County that has the possibility for a tornado possible tag. We're watching the structure of it. You could even see it here far on the southern part of your screen in southern Henry County, where we're watching the potential for that tornado rotation. So we're going to send it over to KCTV5 News tonight at 10. Brad and Lauren.
Local, live from KCTV5, this is breaking news.
It's been a noisy night across the area as the sound of tornado sirens, rumbles of thunder, and pouring rain could be heard in cities south of the 435 loop. This is what Ron Sickler saw near Lewisburg, Kansas. Very big clouds moving his way, the lightning really making it look threatening there. And here's another look at that same kind of cloud. Look at this. This is from Madeline Melton. It was also taken in Lewisburg near the cider mill. Breathtaking imagery and very frightening looking all at the same time.
Just an hour ago, the front side of these storms crossed the state line into Missouri. Check out what we saw on Scout camera near I-49 and 7 Highway in Harrisonville. You could just see how low these clouds are, how fast they are moving. Also, as Brad pointed out, a lot of lightning with these storms lighting up the skies almost constantly at some points. And even in places where the tornado sirens were not going off, there was quite a light show going on in the sky. This is a time-lapse look from our city cams in Kansas City. This was over about 30 minutes earlier tonight. Lots of lightning, rumbles of thunder, and bursts of heavy rain.
Yeah, an incredible light show. There are quite a few reports of tornadoes that have come in tonight. This is a look at the map. The reports range from near Blue Mound, Kansas to the south, all the way up to Spring Hill, just south of Kansas City. The National Weather Service will send crews out to survey the damage and then decide whether tornadoes actually touch down. Now, these storms have also left a lot of people in the dark tonight. This is a look at Evergy's outage map. Right now, it shows about 12,000 customers without power. That's actually a bit of an improvement from even just a few minutes ago. So the worst of it appears to be in and around Ottawa and Spring Hill, Kansas. And right now, no estimated time for the power to be restored to everyone. And we want to also show you some photos from Osawatomie, Kansas. Again, just these eerie looking clouds that you can see over the power lines there. It looks like they formed a wall-like structure in this rural area.
It has
just incredibly impressive.
Absolutely. It's been a busy night in the First One 5 Weather Center as meteorologists Melissa Meter and Mike Nico were on the air for over 3 hours, keeping you safe from the storm.
Yeah, there aren't any tornado warnings at the moment, but these storms are still making some noise. So Melissa now has an updated look at the radar tonight.
You guys had mentioned no tornado warnings are out there right now. That is the good news. However, there are still several severe thunderstorm warnings that are in place, particularly in our southeastern areas. We're going to kind of go by zone as we take a look at multiple storms that we're tracking for what is now base severe thunderstorm warnings, mainly 60-mile-per-hour winds and small hail. However, before we get to that, I do want to set you up and let you know that the tornado watch is still in effect until 11 p.m. The tornado risk is lowering, but still can't rule rule out a isolated tornado. That's going to be back towards our southeastern counties. Likely going to continue to see the southern portions of the metro likely be taken out of that here shortly. But we're going to go to the severe thunderstorm warning that's off towards the east on the eastern side of the metro, moving towards places like Sweet Springs, and is moving towards, or I should say in Higginsville. This is portions of Johnson, Lafayette, Pettis, Saline counties. This continues until 10:30. It's 60-mile-per-hour winds. It's really the kind of leading edge of the storm where we're starting to see some kind of darker reds from Higginsville all the way to Knob Noster. Even if I show you a look at kind of our radar velocity, you could still see the strongest winds that had picked up around 70 miles an hour on our Doppler winds just north of Higginsville, heading towards Waverly. We're looking at still 40 to even 60-mile-per-hour winds within Alma, down to Concordia, down to Knob Noster, heading towards Sweet Spring and Lamont as well. So as we move down towards the south, or I should say back towards the southwest, just south of the metro, a severe thunderstorm warning that is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail for Cass and Miami counties until 10:30. We're looking at the possibility of that hail core being near Cleveland. Then we move down towards the south. This is the structure we've been kind of seeing all day. Severe thunderstorm warning till 10:45. That's for Henry, Johnson, Pettis counties. As you can see, we are watching the possibility for there to be maybe some rotation. However, that is not happening right now. That is the good news. But 60-mile-per-hour winds as well as quarter-sized hail is what we're looking at when we think about this specific storm. These are moving around 30 to about 40 miles per hour. We're going to continue to track these throughout the evening, but I want to send it back to you guys.
All right, Melissa, thank you. We want to go to Ottawa, Kansas, where KCTV5's Chandler Watkins joins us now live.
Chandler, it's looking pretty active behind you. What's going on? Yeah, we're at the corner of 15th and Main. Police are navigating the traffic as they come through the intersection. Police have Main Street blocked from 15th all the way down to 19th Street. A majority of the town is without power and the street lights aren't working right now. They tell us that this area is blocked off for downed power lines and damage. We took some footage earlier that we captured while we were driving down Main Street. Didn't know if we could put that up right now where the power is out. But as you saw behind me earlier and in some of that footage, you can see people are still out and about driving. Just a few minutes ago, I spoke to the Ottawa city manager as well as the attorney. They gave me a rundown of everything that they have seen tonight so far. They tell me that there is roof damage to a T-Mobile building and the Knights Inn, that's on Main between 15th and 19th Street. They tell me that there are downed trees and damage on Apple Lane. That's a little more than half a mile from our location right now. They did send me a news release that they also posted to their social media channels. They say that the storms have caused structural damage, but most importantly, no loss of life or injuries have been reported in the city from this storm. Now, all city and county emergency personnel are responding to this. They have a mobile command set up in the parking lot off of Main Street behind me right now. For now, city leaders are asking people to remain off the roadways as well as stay away from downed power lines. They say their first priority is safety, life safety. After that, they'll be focusing on structure safety and then utility infrastructure evaluation and restoration. And Brad, like you mentioned earlier, at this time, there's no estimate for when the power will be restored at this time. But for now, reporting live in Ottawa, Chandler Watkins, KCTV5 News.
Chandler, clearly, so they've made a request for people not to be out and about driving. We can see plenty of cars driving behind you. I think people are out, doing what they do, trying to assess damage in their hometown after a big storm races through their town. I know that they're keeping you from certain areas of the city, but have you seen yourself any damage to any buildings there, any damage to any houses that you've been able to see so far?
No damage that we've been able to see so far, but the power lines or the power is out, the street lights are out, so we haven't been able to see too much that hasn't been illuminated by people's headlights or first responder vehicles' flashing lights. From the first responders that we've spoken to, most of the damage is between 15th and 19th Street on Main. Chandler, thank you very much for giving us the very latest from Ottawa. Appreciate it.
All right, we want to show you this picture that storm chaser Darren Brunin in Ottawa sent to us. Look at this. It's a funnel cloud forming before a tornado eventually touched down here. And now we want to move to Hillsdale, Kansas to show you the damage left behind from strong storms there in Hillsdale. It ripped doors away from buildings, threw debris across roads and driveways. But now we want to get to KCTV5's Betsy Webster. She's riding along in the First Warn weather tracker tonight.
And Betsy, it's our understanding that that is exactly where you're coming from. Have you been able to see some of the damage that we just saw on our screen, some photos? What's it looking like from your end?
Not that kind of damage, because we have been unable to get into town. Where you are seeing us right now is 255th Street, the exit from 169. Kansas Highway Patrol's motorist assist is blocking the way into Hillsdale, and I'm going to step out of this way so you can see why. This is just one downed power line. I don't know if we've got enough light on it, if you can see where it goes up to one of those power mains. But then if we can't see all the way up there, like I was able to with our iPhone, let's pan back down there and push down the road. You can see all the emergency traffic down there. Now, when we were here a second ago, before we tried circling around for a different approach, some Highway Patrol troopers had shown up, and they said, well, you know, we're going to head down that way to see if they could use our help. They made it past this power line, but then indicated that they had to turn back because there were downed power lines further ahead. So definitely some significant infrastructure damage as well, and difficulty getting around because of those hazards with the downed power lines. Unclear exactly how many of them are still live. We did see the troopers walking around in this general area, and they were safe. They believe that this one has been shut off, and you can see that it is otherwise pitch dark out here. So it does appear that they are making some progress to shutting off some of those downed lines to protect the safety of folks, and so that those emergency responders can do their job safely. So we are considering getting back on the road and trying to approach from a different direction, but it definitely does appear as if they have all of the main access roads into Hillsdale closed to traffic for now. Reporting live near Hillsdale, Kansas, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
Betsy, thank you very much, and drive safely getting around. We still have some storms making noise across the area, so we want to go back to Melissa for an update. Melissa?
I do have a good update in regards to the tornado watch that continues until 11 p.m. The metro has now been taken out of that, but portions of our southern area is still included in that. Bates, Cass, Henry, Johnson counties, including kind of Miami County back and towards of Kansas. But overall, this continues until 11 p.m. This is where the storms still are moving through. We're transitioning more to what is going to be a kind of classic thunderstorm, severe thunderstorm, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail, but we still cannot rule out the potential for a tornado to form, specifically as we look towards the storm that's just south of the metro and along I-49, still seeing some structure of that where we want to be a little bit maybe more kind of heightened in concern for the potential for that to grow upscale. But as we kind of look, once again, the strongest winds, as we have seen kind of straight line winds from Waverly down to Knob Noster, Sweet Spring is starting to see some stronger winds as well. We go back towards the southwest. As I mentioned, this is going to be maybe the stronger storm we're going to start to watch moving through the eastern side of Cass and eventually about to be all in Miami County. Still the severe thunderstorm warning that is down towards the south in portions of Henry County and Johnson and Pettis till 10:45. We're going to track this out. Models did not do, of course, a great job of what happened tonight, but we still have several more rounds of rain and storm potential and severe weather threats as we go into this week, which we'll look at here in just a few minutes. We'll be right back after this break.